Chapter 680. The Japanese restaurant was brightly lit, but there wasn't a single car parked in front of the entrance. How could such a famous restaurant in Taiwan not have a single customer? Su-yun knew very well that everything in the restaurant was abnormal. He couldn't let Ji Feng step into the Japanese's stronghold. Su-yun wasn't sure who was in the restaurant. If there were experts from Japan and Ji Feng got help, all the favorable situations would be reversed. The other party had Lin Suin as a bargaining chip. The choice that Lin Si-hai had to face was definitely the one that he didn't want to face in his life. One was the list of leaders of the fishing organization that fought for every inch of land in Huaxia. The other was his own daughter. No matter which one he chose or gave up, it would be the biggest nightmare in Lin Si-hai's life. Even if Su-yun made this choice, Su-yun wouldn't be able to face it, let alone Lin Si-hai, who was closely related to both of them. "I'll say one last thing, get out of my way." The anger and killing intent in Ji Feng's eyes couldn't be concealed. "If you don't believe that I'll break her neck, then continue to go against me." The courage surging in Lin Suin's body overcame her fear. She sneered at Ji Feng. "You can't do anything to me. I'm the only bargaining chip in your hand now. If anything happens to me, you'll have nothing. Ji Feng, you better think carefully." "Miss, if it was 3 years ago and you asked me to give up, I would have definitely agreed." Ji Feng's expression was unpredictable. That fake smile made people feel uncomfortable. "Because I still loved you at that time. I still thought that you were the only woman who could make me, Ji Feng, crazy. But everything has changed now. Do you understand? 3 years ago, I asked the president to lock Wu Yuandong up. You were the only one who objected. But my objection was correct. I knew that Brother Dong wouldn't become like what you said." Lin Suin said angrily. "The only thing I regret is that I didn't suspect you 3 years ago. You weren't the Ji Feng I knew at that time." Ji Feng tightened his grip on Lin Suin's neck. "Young mistress, it's because you didn't recognize me from the very beginning. I'm such a person. I won't give up until I reach my goal. Whatever I want, I'll try my best to get it. Whether it's power, money, or women, I will obtain it by hook or by crook." Lin Suin snorted. "Do you think everyone doesn't know about your conspiracy? You used me to exchange for the list of leaders of the Bao fishing organization for my father, and then you got the power the Dongying people promised you. You used this power to exchange for money, and then you used the money to exchange for women. Is this the life you want? Such a meaningless life. Big miss, you're mistaken. I only need power. I only need the entire Three Lotus Association." Ji Feng seemed to be imagining a beautiful future. He raised his head and laughed wildly. "Ha ha ha, the woman I want is you. You can't be bought with money. But I can use Lin Si-hai's life as a bargaining chip, can't I?" Lin Suin was stunned. Ji Feng was much more sinister than she thought. "As long as I provide the Dongying people with everything they want, I can smoothly get to the top. Do you think Lin Si-hai will have a way out? But I can help you. As long as you agree to all my requests, I will naturally let Lin Si-hai go." Ji Feng was describing how everything should develop. He believed that everything could become a reality. Su-yun could only apologetically interrupt his fantasy. "Ji Feng, it's time to wake up. Don't think of the Dongying people as your saviors. Since ancient times, none of the traitors had a good ending. Su-yun, do you dare to make a bet with me?" Ji Feng said proudly. He tightened his grip on Lin Suin's neck. Lin Suin struggled because of the difficulty in breathing. If Su-yun didn't do anything, Lin Suin might suffocate. "If you insist on not letting me go, I have no reason to let Miss go." Ji Feng said, "If I lose everything I want, I won't let you guys feel good. I will let you guys lose her. I will let you guys taste the pain and despair when I lose everything." Ji Feng had completely lost his mind. Su-yun naturally didn't dare to joke about Lin Suin's life. "All right, you win. There's no need to bet. You can go in. No one will stop you," Su-yun said as he stepped back silently. It wasn't hard to see from Lin Suin's expression that she was on the verge of suffocating. He had to follow Ji Feng's orders. No matter what, he had to ensure Lin Suin's safety first. Although Su Yun stepped aside, Ji Feng was still very careful. Every step he took was so cautious. He moved step by step towards the restaurant. Su Yun knew very well that it was definitely not the right time to save Lin Suin, so he didn't have any intention to do it. It seemed that the final choice could only fall on Lin Si-hai. Su Yun had an inexplicable feeling in his heart. He felt that Lin Si-hai didn't save his marriage for the sake of the interests of the organization. Perhaps he would also not save his marriage today for the sake of the organization's interests. Phew, this question was too cruel. Su Yun really couldn't bear to think about it. Just as Ji Feng brought Lin Suin into the room, a scream quickly came out, directly breaking Su Yun's thoughts. Su Yun didn't have time to consider the pros and cons. At this moment, Su Yun had no idea what was going on in the room. He didn't even consider whether he would be in danger after entering the room. When Su Yun entered the room, the scene that he saw made him suspect that he was dreaming. Ji Feng was lying on the ground, clearly unconscious. Lin Suin was also in shock due to the lack of oxygen. However, someone supported Lin Suin and helped her to lie down on a few chairs. Xie Fei's was holding a bottle of sake and smiling at Su Yun. "Brother, long time no see. Although I really want to drink with you right now, I'm afraid you'll have to save Miss Lin first." This surprise really scared me. Su Yun's mood really eased a lot. No wonder he felt that something was wrong with the restaurant today. It turned out that everything had changed. The one who went to the warehouse with Lin Guo at Taipei Pier just now must be you. Brother Zhe, now I owe you another favor. Xie Fei smiled. Compared to the favor I owe you, this is nothing. Brother, I'll leave Miss Lin to you. I still have some urgent matters to attend to. If possible, I hope no one knows that I came here, including the people from the Three Lotus Association. If there's a chance, we must have a good drink. After saying that, Xie Fei left with his people through the back door of the restaurant. Thank you. Although Su Yun knew that there was no need for words to express his gratitude, he still said it in a low voice. Xie Fei didn't turn around. He raised his hand and waved, meaning that he didn't need to be polite. I'll leave Pigeon in your care on the mainland. My old man said that if there's a chance to go to the Caribbean, he'll personally cook a feast for you. Back then, he also made the same promise to Zhang Jiaji. It's a pity that Zhang Jiaji didn't go. Since you're his godson, you should taste this meal in Zhang Jiaji's place. Su Yun really wanted to ask Zhang Jiaji about his relationship with the evil god, but Xie Fei had already gotten into the car and left. Su Yun also knew that now wasn't the time to think about these things. Lin Suin was already in shock. She needed to be given mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and some first aid measures. Fortunately, Su Yun was very good at these simple first aid measures, especially mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Because Lin Suin wasn't a stranger to Su Yun still had some scruples in his heart when it was time to bite her. This was how things were. The more familiar someone was, the more difficult it was to bite. Now that Lin Suin was in shock, it was also the best time to rescue her. Su Yun didn't argue anymore. He pinched Lin Suin's nose and opened her mouth, then bent down. The lip gloss was actually fruit-flavored. Although Su Yun didn't say anything, he had to admit that he liked this flavor of lip gloss. After a few mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, Su Yun pressed his hands on Lin Suin's chest and pressed rhythmically. Lin Suin's full and bouncy breasts also gave Su Yun a very good feedback. Well, Su Yun admitted that even a deity would be distracted when performing such first aid measures on such a devastatingly beautiful girl. Finally, under Su Yun's professional rescue methods, Lin Suin took a deep breath and suddenly opened her eyes. When she saw Su Yun looking at her with an innocent face, she immediately asked nervously, "What happened? Where's Ji Feng?" "He's already kneeling." Su Yun pointed at Ji Feng, who was taken care of by Xie Fei. Ji Feng probably didn't expect to see someone like Xie Fei in the restaurant when he came in. If Su Yun didn't guess wrongly, CFAI's probably already had the strength of a 9th stage super expert. The only thing he was waiting for was to break through to the profound world realm. Lin Suin's eyes widened. She didn't dare to believe the scene in front of her. Before she entered the restaurant, she was already in shock due to breathing difficulties. Therefore, she didn't know what had just happened. As for the Japanese restaurant's owner and waiters, they were all lying on the ground, unconscious. How did you do it? Lin Suin couldn't believe this was the truth. Su Yun shrugged. Even if he told the truth, Lin Suin probably wouldn't believe him. Moreover, CFAIs had said, "If it's convenient, I hope no one knows that I've been here, including the people from the Three Lotus group." Therefore, Su Yun didn't intend to tell the truth. He just wanted to respect CFAIs. Since he said so, he must have his own reasons. Now, Su Yun was more curious about why Lin Gu and CFAIs suddenly appeared in Taiwan. He clearly told Lin Gu to find Gu Zueran. Could it be that he came to Taiwan? This was a bit unreasonable. Outside the door, there was the sound of a car engine and brakes. Lin Si-hai brought the subordinates of Long Liang Group and Three Lotus Group, as well as Lin Gu, and rushed over. Among these people, perhaps only Lin Gu knew the truth. He secretly stuck out his tongue at Su Yun, telling Su Yun with his expression that he would definitely explain everything to him. On the way here, Lin Si-hai had thought of many endings and solutions. The worst was to exchange the name list for his daughter. He had been hesitating about this decision on the way here. He didn't want to betray the Protect Fishing organization, but he also didn't want to lose his only family. However, he didn't dare to think that Su Yun would actually help him solve all these problems. This kindness would definitely be engraved in Lin Si-hai's heart. "Mr. Su, if you don't mind, I'd like to invite you home. I'm really grateful for what you did today." "Of course I don't mind." Su Yun smiled slightly. At this time, Lin Gu walked forward and whispered in Su Yun's ear, "Brother, can you wipe your mouth clean after eating? There are still lipstick marks on it." Chapter 681. On the way back to the Lin family, Su Yun rejected President Su Yun's invitation to ride in President Lin's car. Instead, he hoped that he could drive Lin Suin's car and have a private chat with Lin Gu. Lin Suin naturally wouldn't reject Su Yun's request. She happily got into her father's car and let Su Yun drive behind them. After Lin Gu got into the car, he raised his eyebrows with a smirk. "Bro, you're really something. You have quite the luck with women. Miss Lin is publicly recognized as the most beautiful girl in the gay community. You've caught the opportunity to get close to her. Hee, when are you going to teach me some of your skills in picking up girls? Then I won't be alone for so long." "Don't change the topic. The situation was urgent just now. I did CPR to save her. You know how a doctor treats his patients," Su Yun said as he drove. "Shouldn't you solve my confusion? Why did you appear on Taiyuan Island with CFAIs? It's definitely a coincidence to meet my brother Zhe here." Lin Gu spread his hands and smiled. "But it's fortunate that I met him. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the ability to help you solve today's matter. But I really don't know what he's doing now. But one thing is for sure. It's definitely related to the Japanese coveting Turtle Island." Su Yun believed that Lin Gu didn't know the specifics. Lin Gu didn't need to lie to him. Moreover, what CFAIs was doing couldn't be explained in 1 or 2 sentences. If it could be explained simply, Su Yun believed that CFAIs would have told him just now. "What about you? Why are you in Taiyuan? Didn't I ask you to find Gu Zueran?" "Su Yun, could it be that he's too gay? I don't really believe that. According to my understanding, Gu Zueran isn't someone who likes to travel around the world. He wouldn't be in the mood to visit the beautiful mountains and rivers of his motherland." Lin Gu was silent after Gu Zueran was mentioned. "I found him." Su Yun calmed down. "Where is he?" How much he wanted to explain to Gu Zueran, how much he wanted to obtain Gu Zueran's forgiveness, was something that no one else could understand. "At Zhang Taisui's tomb," Lin Gu said. "He should have calculated that I would go to that place to find him, so he waited for me there. As long as he found the person, nothing else mattered. Su-yun finally breathed a sigh of relief. The old man's tomb is in Ji-Bay. Why did you suddenly appear in Taiwan? I'm a little confused by you. Gu Zueran won't be running around now, right? Let's go back to find him tomorrow. I'll treat you guys to a drink. Brother, think about it carefully. Why did I find you when you needed me the most? Lin Ji's expression did not show any excitement. His heart was very heavy. Su-yun was stunned for a moment, but he quickly reacted. Gu Zueran sent you? He knows I'm in trouble in Taiwan? Lin Gu nodded. In fact, Gu Zueran didn't want me to find him from the beginning. He knew you had forgiven him, but he didn't want to see you. If he hadn't calculated that you would be in trouble in Taiwan, he wouldn't have appeared in front of me. He told me to come to Taiwan to help you. Su-yun was silent for a while. This man he had always wronged, this man who was like a father, had always used his own way to tolerate all of Su-yun's mistakes. He had always used his own way to silently protect Su-yun. And Su-yun had always misunderstood him. Gu Zueran only wanted a chance to explain and forgive, but Su-yun was so stingy that he was not even willing to give him this chance. But Gu Zueran did not change because of Su-yun's stinginess. He still chose to help Su-yun unconditionally, protect Su-yun, do everything he promised to Tai Sui, and also endure Su-yun's trampling on his dignity. Only at this moment did Su-yun realize how much of a bastard he was. He had wronged Gu Zueran too much. Because of Yin Long's death, he turned his misunderstanding of Gu Zueran into the sharpest dagger, stabbing Gu Zueran's heart. Dove, do you think I'm a bastard? Su-yun said indifferently. Lin Gu hesitated for a moment, and then replied, Brother, if you're talking about the matter with Gu Zueran, then you are indeed a complete bastard. Then how do you think I should make up for it? Su-yun asked. Fortunately, Gu Zueran was magnanimous and did not bicker with him. Since he could get Lin Gu to go to Taiwan Island to help him, it meant that he did not completely hate him. He still had a chance to be forgiven, and a chance to reconcile with Gu Zueran. Su-yun decided that he had to let this big brother who had silently tolerated him feel his sincerity. Brother, Big Brother Gu warned me again and again not to tell you the truth. But I really could not help it. Lin Gu said, I know that if I say it, he will definitely blame me, but if I don't say it, you will definitely not forgive me. An inexplicable sense of foreboding suddenly rose in Su-yun's heart. What the hell happened? He has already seen the final journey of his life. Lin Gu said. He said that it will not be long before he can go to the other world to accompany old man Zhang. What? Do you mean? Su-yun's heart felt like it was being fiercely grasped by someone's hand, as if everything about him, including his life, was being controlled by someone else. Lin Gu did not avoid Su-yun's question. He took a deep breath and said bluntly, Everything in the world is balanced. Those who reveal the secrets of the heavens will receive the corresponding punishment. For so many years, he has done too many things to reveal the secrets of the heavens for you, so he will receive the punishment he deserves. Su-yun suddenly stepped on the brakes and stopped the car in the middle of the road. He grabbed Lin Ji's shoulders with both hands. Why is it like this? Where is he? Take me to see him immediately. Brother, calm down. Lin Gu said. He said that he will see you one last time before he leaves, but not now. He still has things to do. Is there anything more important than him dying right now? Su-yun felt like his brain was about to explode. The news that Lin Gu brought him was really hard for him to accept. Gu Zueran was actually going to receive the wrath of the heavens because of his own matters. This was even more painful than killing Su-yun. Lin Gu nodded. Of course there is. He also has the woman he loves the most in the world, and he also has his own matters. He can't spend all of his remaining time with you. Brother, to put it bluntly, perhaps there are times when you think you're doing the right thing, but that's just a selfish belief. Su-yun fell silent. His hands that were holding Lin Gu slowly loosened. Lin Gu was right. Everyone in this world had things that were important to them, things that were even more important than their own lives. He had already let Gu Zueran down. He did not have the right to take away his final autonomy. Brother, I'm sorry. My words were a bit harsh. But I hope you can understand him. Lin Gu said, I know that you must be feeling worse than anyone else right now, but you have to accept this fact. I understand. Su Yun knew that even if he was about to collapse, he had to sort himself out and wait for Gu Zueran to see him one last time. Because Su Yun suddenly braked, Lin Suin and Lin Sihai in the car in front were a little worried. Long Lianghui stopped the car and walked over to see what was going on. Mr. Su, Mr. Lin, is there something wrong with the car? No, I was just a little sleepy. Su Yun smiled slightly. I just wanted to wake myself up. It's okay. Let's keep going. Long Lianghui was obviously still very puzzled, but he still smiled and left to continue on the road. Brother, are you really okay? Lin Gu, how about I drive? Do you think Gu Zueran wants something to happen to me? Su Yun took a deep breath and calmed himself down. He made so many sacrifices for Zhang Taisui and for me. If I still don't understand and can't recover because of this, then I'm even more sorry for him. Lin Gu finally smiled. If you can think like that, then Brother Gu is definitely relieved. You don't have to be so worried. Brother Gu knows better than any of us. You should hope that he comes to you later. Haha. Yes, the later Gu Zueran appeared in front of Su Yun, the longer he lived. Su Yun of course understood this. He laughed dryly. Lin Gu could not tell whether it was bitterness or relief. Finally, the cars returned to the Lin family. After such a big thing happened today, all the remaining loyal members of the Three Lotus Gang gathered at the Lin family. Everyone was worried that something unexpected would happen. The culprit of today's incident, Ji Feng, was also brought back to the Lin family. Lin Sihai had to personally find out what kind of deal this person had made with the Japanese, and what the Japanese had done in Taiwan. How much did the Japanese know about the Turtle Island Protection Organization? These were all questions that Lin Sihai wanted to find out. He had plenty of time to let Ji Feng answer slowly. The Three Lotus Association would definitely not tolerate such a traitor. Mr. Su, forgive me for not being able to accompany you. Ji Feng is a scourge that I brought up. I have to deal with him personally. Lin Sihai said to Su Yun, then called Lin Suin over. Mia, I'll leave the guests to you. I've already asked Aunt Ping to clean up the guest room. Prepare some tea or wine to thank Mr. Su. Lin Suin nodded. Okay, leave this to me. You can go do your own thing. Mr. Su, I'm really sorry, Lin Sihai said apologetically. President Lin, if I were you, I would definitely look at the big picture. Su Yun smiled understandingly. Ji Feng might know a lot about the Japanese. You will definitely gain something. Lin Sihai nodded again in apology, then left the living room with Long Lianghui. Do you want to drink tea or wine? Lin Suin seemed to be in a good mood. She didn't even remember that half an hour ago, she was almost killed by Ji Feng. Lin Gu scratched his head. It's so late. I'm afraid you won't be able to sleep if you drink tea. Then let's drink. Su Yun didn't stand on ceremony. If the miss of the Three Lotus Gang can serve the guests, it must be good wine. This opportunity is rare, so we must seize it. But don't drink too much. It'll be embarrassing if you drink too much. Lin Suin knew that Su Yun was laughing at her for drinking too much that night, but she didn't mind. She immediately got up and took out the Remy Martin XO from the wine cabinet. I don't have much experience in bartending, so I can only treat you to pure wine. You don't mind, right? Of course, Su Yun didn't mind. If such an expensive wine was used to bartend, it would be a waste. Only pure wine would have the taste he wanted. Chapter 682. Su Yun couldn't remember how he fell asleep that night. He drank a lot of alcohol. Perhaps it was because the huge stone in Wu Yuendong's heart had been pushed away and Su Yun was happy. Or perhaps it was because Gu Zueran's current situation made him feel depressed. All kinds of emotions were magnified and Su Yun found a reason to get drunk. In his drunken sleep, Su Yun dreamed that Gu Zueran came to find him and told him that everything was a misunderstanding. He wouldn't be punished by heaven for revealing heaven's secret. Everything was a misunderstanding and wouldn't happen. Lin Suin's insomnia was destined. Her mind was filled with what happened tonight. In fact, when Su Yun gave her the first mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, Lin Suin had already regained her consciousness. So every time Su Yun's mouth touched her lips, she could clearly feel the warmth from Su Yun's cold lips. She didn't open her eyes immediately because she wanted to experience the feeling of her heart beating faster a few more times. Su Yun made her realize how much she wanted to find a trustworthy boy to rely on. In many people's eyes, she was an unreachable goddess. Only she knew that the feeling of love she wanted was actually the same as that of an ordinary girl. Even if Su Yun's standpoint was to save someone, to Lin Suin, this was her first kiss. Although the time, place, and environment of this first kiss were far from the romantic Lin Suin had imagined before, there were no province flowers, no warm and gentle music. But all of this wasn't important. What was important was that the other party was a boy she could give her everything to and give her heart to. That was enough. Just thinking about it made Lin Suin's face heat up. Was this the legendary feeling of being in love? She didn't know what Su Yun was thinking at this moment. Lin Suin laid on the bed, tossing and turning. Her thoughts were so complicated. A girl would always be a girl. A girl's thoughts were hard to grasp and definitely not easy to guess. At least Su Yun couldn't figure it out. Otherwise, he wouldn't have drunk so much and slept like a dead pig. He didn't even notice that someone had pushed the door open. When Lin Suin realized that she had lost control, she realized that she had unknowingly entered Su Yun's room. Oh my God! She was completely unaware that she had done such a crazy and daring thing under the influence of gods and devils. If news of her sneaking into a boy's room in the middle of the night got out, how could she face others? Lin Suin, whose face was flushed and her heart was racing, quickly moved towards the door. She had to leave as soon as possible and lock herself in her room. Only then would she be able to prevent herself from doing anything stupid. You're here. Su Yun's voice was like a sudden clap of thunder, directly freezing Lin Suin at the door of the room. Lin Suin's hands secretly rubbed the front of her pajamas. She was so embarrassed that she didn't even dare to turn her head. Don't misunderstand. I just want to see if you're asleep. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Good night. Since you're here, don't leave. Let's have a drink. Su Yun's voice was unclear. You still want to drink? Lin Suin turned her head with a puzzled face. You've drunk a lot today. If you want to drink, I'll accompany you tomorrow. You should sleep first today. Brother Gu, when was the last time we had a drink together? Su Yun didn't wait for Lin Suin to finish her words and interrupted her. I didn't expect that I misunderstood you so much. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I'll drink first as a sign of respect. I only hope that you can be as willful as a brother. What the? Lin Suin widened her eyes. Su Yun wasn't talking to her at all. She walked to Su Yun's bedside and saw that Su Yun was sleeping soundly with his eyes closed. This guy was actually talking in his sleep. Moreover, it was obvious that the person Su Yun was dreaming of was definitely not her, but someone else. If Su Yun was dreaming of other women, it would be fine. However, it was actually a man in his dream. Lin Suin was the one who was depressed. Could it be that she, the big miss of the Three Lotus Association, Lin Sihai's most precious treasure, was actually not as charming as a man? Hurry up and dream of me. Otherwise, I'll lift your blanket and freeze you to death. Lin Suin didn't think that she was being silly. She actually got jealous of a man in Su Yun's dream. However, Su Yun didn't know that the beautiful big Miss Lin was sitting beside his bed. The alcohol had already messed up his thoughts. Right now, the person he wanted to see the most was Gu Zueran. In addition to the news he got from Lin Gu, it would be strange if he didn't dream of Gu Zueran. Brother Gu, no amount of alcohol or words can make up for my apology to you. However, I will definitely not let you leave just like that. Even if it's the wrath of the heavens, even if it means going against the heavens, I will fight for you until the end." Although it was just a dream, Soo-yun's emotions were still quite emotional. Lin Suin rolled her eyes helplessly. She really didn't know what kind of person could make Soo-yun go against the heavens. To be honest, Lin Suin was a little jealous of this guy who appeared in Soo-yun's dream. They were both men, yet he could still dream of him. It really made her speechless. "Hee, it seems that if I don't let you experience the feeling of being blown by the cold wind, you won't know how powerful I am." As Lin Suin was thinking, she walked to the window and opened it. A gust of cold wind blew in. Although it was already early spring and Taiwan Island was in the subtropical climate zone, the wind in the early morning was still chilly. Since Big Miss Lin said that she would lift Soo-yun's blanket, there was no reason for her to go back on her words. She would do as she said. After opening the window, Lin Suin came to Soo-yun's bedside and laughed evilly. "You didn't dream of a beauty like me, but you insisted on dreaming of a man. I will wake you up now." After saying that, Lin Suin lifted Soo-yun's blanket. Ah! Just as the blanket was lifted, Lin Suin's beautiful face turned pale as she exclaimed. She didn't think that Soo-yun would choose to sleep naked at such an age. Soo-yun wasn't wearing anything from head to toe. Even the most private part of his body didn't have a piece of cloth covering it. How could Big Miss Lin not panic when she saw a man's body for the first time? Soo-yun was having a good time drinking with Gu Zuerin in his dream when he felt a chill all over his body. He immediately opened his eyes and woke up. The opened window, the lifted blanket, and Soo-yun's perfect body that was completely exposed to the air made him realize that he was dreaming. However, there was one thing that made Soo-yun suspect that he hadn't woken up yet. That was Big Miss Lin, who was standing beside his bed, covering her mouth with a shocked and shy expression. However, her eyes were wide open and peeking at him from time to time. Damn! A dream within a dream? Soo-yun rubbed his dry throat. At this time, I should play with a spinning top from the Inception space. Lin Suin didn't know what to do at that moment. She just stood in front of Soo-yun like a fool, completely helpless. Soo-yun had indeed drunk too much tonight. Since it was a dream, why not order Big Miss Lin of the Three Lotus Association around? Big Miss Lin probably hasn't poured water for anyone before. Come, don't be shy. Since this is my dream, pour me a glass of water. Let us enjoy the treatment of a president. As he said that, Soo-yun really laid on the bed and waited for Lin Suin to pour him a glass of water. Lin Suin really wanted to spray Soo-yun to death with a mouthful of salt soda. This guy actually dared to order her around so brazenly. Did he really think that this was a dream? Wait a minute. Why not? Lin Suin sucked in a breath of cold air. If Soo-yun thought that this was a dream, then she wouldn't feel embarrassed. The next day, Soo-yun would forget about this matter and no one would know how embarrassed she was. Phew, luckily Soo-yun drank too much. Lin Suin rejoiced in her heart. When she obediently poured the glass of water for Soo-yun and brought it to the bedside, this guy who didn't even have a piece of cloth on him actually ordered even more fiercely, "Feed me." Lin Suin resisted the urge to splash the entire cup of water on Soo-yun's head. She placed the cup next to his mouth and fed him the entire cup. She kept telling herself in her heart, "I'm only treating you this way because you saved me today and also helped the Three Lotus Association solve such a big problem. You better watch out for yourself." Actually, Soo-yun's requests weren't too much for Lin Suin. Lin Suin was worried that Soo-yun would make some excessive requests. For example, he wanted her to take off her clothes, or he wanted her to do something like that for him. That would be troublesome. If Soo-yun did that, regardless of whether she woke him up or obeyed him, it would be as awkward as it could be. Fortunately, Soo-yun wasn't that kind of shameless person. He didn't make any improper requests of Lin Suin. Even if Soo-yun really thought that this was a dream, he would never molest and tarnish Lin Suin who appeared in his dream. After Soo-yun drank the water, his throat felt much better. His last request was for Lin Suin to close the window and cover him with a blanket. Of course, She also wanted to sing a lullaby for him to continue sleeping in his dream. What Lin Suin didn't expect was that the lullaby Su Yun liked to listen to was actually Sheldon's favorite song in The Big Bang Theory. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little Balafa. Happy kitty, sleepy kitty, purr purr purr. If it weren't for Lin Suin's love for American dramas, she wouldn't have known how to coax Su Yun to sleep and get away. Following Lin Suin's elegant and clear voice, Su Yun quickly fell asleep again. However, this time, he didn't dream of drinking with Gu Zueran. Instead, he slept very soundly, as if he was at home. It was as if he had Yuan Qingxuang by his side. When Su Yun's face was filled with a childlike smile, Lin Suin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She didn't expect this guy's cute side to be so cute. She couldn't even restrain her love for him. Lin Suin caressed Su Yun's cheek and sang again, soft kitty, warm kitty, little Balafa. Happy kitty, sleepy kitty, purr purr purr. Chapter 683. The early morning birdsong made Su Yun sit up on the bed. The after-effects of the alcohol still made his brain a little muddled, but what really confused him was definitely not the after-effects of the alcohol, but the strange dream he had last night. He was actually naked and pointed at Lin Suin, and even asked her to help him close the window and sing nursery rhymes. What the F***ck? If someone were to be able to read his dreams, then where would Su Yun's face go? Despicable, wretched. Su Yun had always felt that he was quite noble. At least, he was not close to being despicable and wretched. But last night's dream really had a huge change in his view of himself. This dream was not something a normal person could dream of. If Su Yun was a little more sober and knew that it wasn't a dream, he would probably find a shovel and dig a hole to bury himself. It wasn't that he felt embarrassed, but that he couldn't afford to lose face. Hearing Auntie Ping knocking on the door to wake him up for breakfast, Su Yun's heart was like a little mouse, jumping up and down. That kind of uneasy feeling was really uncomfortable. At this moment, Lin Suin's mood was as uneasy as Su Yun's. She was also afraid. If Su Yun woke up in the morning and realized that it wasn't a dream, how should she explain the fact that she, a girl, actually snuck into a guy's room in the middle of the night? Perhaps it was because of each having their own ulterior motives. Su Yun and Lin Suin were rather sluggish when they were washing and tidying up the room, just to avoid the awkwardness of meeting each other alone. But no matter how much they thought about it, in the end, these two sluggish fellows still met each other alone when they opened the door to the bedroom. Lin Ge had already gone downstairs to eat breakfast. He was the one who knew the most about last night's incident, because Lin Ge knew that Su Yun would very likely drink too much after finding out about Gu Zueran, so he controlled the amount of alcohol he drank very well. Last night, when Lin Suin opened the door and sneaked into Su Yun's room, he heard the movement. Therefore, he heard everything that happened in the room next door. It could be said that other than the fact that Lin Suin had seen Su Yun naked, Lin Ge had heard everything. Morning. To avoid awkwardness, Lin Suin took the initiative to greet him. Su Yun had a guilty conscience and laughed dryly. Ha ha ha. Morning, let's go have breakfast. Yes. Lin Suin was also embarrassed by Su Yun's hollow laugh. She thought that Su Yun had remembered something, so she walked downstairs with a nervous heart. Lin Ge had already finished his breakfast and didn't wait for them. Brother, Miss Lin, you guys are too slow. If you don't come out, I'll finish it all. You should be more polite. After all, this isn't your house. Miss Lin hasn't eaten yet and you've already finished it. How is that appropriate? Su Yun tried to change the topic to resolve the awkwardness in his heart. The president's surname is Lin. Miss Lin is also surnamed Lin. My surname is also Lin. Lin Ge laughed. We were a family 500 years ago. Why don't I just have a godfather and a godsister? Miss Lin, if you don't mind, what do you think of my suggestion? Lin Suin of course didn't mind at all. This guy was Su Yun's good brother. Then you can just call me sister. Don't call me Miss Lin. So what if other people call me that? When you two call me that, it's quite awkward. Okay, I'll call you sister in the future. Lin Ge laughed and said to Su Yun proudly, How is it, brother? We'll have a backer in Taiwan in the future. Su-yun rolled his eyes. Are you done showing off? If you're done showing off, go and pour milk for your godsister. Lin Gu was happy to serve her. This made Aunt Ping feel a little embarrassed. How can I let the guest do it? Let me do it. Lin Si-hai left the house very early. The Three Lotus Society was probably going to hold an emergency meeting with all its members today. Ji Feng, the traitor, had been caught and his henchmen in the Three Lotus Society had to be eradicated. Lin Si-hai believed that he could only be completely at ease when he eliminated the source of trouble. This was because Ji Feng wasn't just a threat to the Three Lotus Society. He was also a threat to the safety of his Bao Yao organization. This was something that Lin Si-hai couldn't forgive. Mia, where is Brother Dong now? Su-yun couldn't help but ask as he ate. Don't worry, Brother Dong is doing well. Hall Master D sent him to Taipei Hospital. My father's old connections are there, Lin Suyin said. I'll take you to see him after breakfast. Su-yun nodded. I'll have to trouble you then. It's no trouble at all. Lin Suyin took a sip of milk and said, By the way, you should still be called Suyin. Every time you call me Mia, it feels awkward. I also think that Mia doesn't sound as good as Suyin. The Hua Xia name left behind by our ancestors sounds more meaningful. Su-yun said, Of course, I'm not saying that your English name isn't nice. It's quite nice, but I prefer Lin Suyin. Lin Suyin smiled slightly, not minding at all. Me too. I also prefer Lin Suyin. I'm done eating. How about you? I'm done eating too. Shall we go to the hospital? Su-yun asked. Okay. This time, Wu Yuendong's injuries were not light. That bastard Ji Feng was too vicious. Perhaps it was because his hatred for Wu Yuandong was too deep, so he did not show any mercy when he attacked. Fortunately, Wu Yuendong's resistance to attacks was strong enough. Di Zihong had also relieved some of his internal injuries. Now, most of his injuries in the hospital were superficial. Of course, Su-yun didn't come empty-handed. He brought the 9 Revolutions Soul Return Pill and Heavenly Fragrance Ointment. One was a miraculous medicine for internal injuries, and the other was a miraculous ointment for external injuries. Di Zihong was a knowledgeable person. When he saw the 2 treasures that Su-yun took out, he was dumbfounded. Mr. Su, how did you get such miraculous medicine? Brother Dong is really lucky to have met a friend like you on the mainland. I can only say that I'm lucky to have met such a loyal brother like Brother Dong. Su-yun smiled slightly and let Wu Yuandong take the 9 Revolutions Soul Return Pill. Wu Yuandong also knew the value of this pill. He joked, This is the most expensive thing that I've ever eaten in my life. Hee, I'm afraid that you can't find such an expensive miraculous medicine in the President's medicine box, right? The 9 Revolutions Soul Return Pill is now something that can't be bought with money, Di Zihong said. Those who know how to make it don't care about the small amount of money it sells for. Mr. Su, where did you buy it? Maybe I should say where I made it? Su-yun shrugged. Actually, it's not difficult to make medicine as long as you're proficient in pharmacology and analyze it carefully. For example, this 9 Revolutions Soul Return Pill isn't difficult to make. As long as you give me enough raw materials, I can make as many as I want. I just call it the Vigorous Pill. If Hall Master D wants to try it, I have more here. Di Zihong wasn't willing to waste such a precious item. Mr. Su, you're too polite. I can't accept it. However, can I ask for one for the President and the young mistress in case of an emergency? Su-yun really appreciated Di Zihong's loyalty. Of course. You don't have to worry about that. I'll ask him for it myself. Lin Suyin didn't know that this pill was a miraculous medicine in the underground world. She stretched out her hand and said, Give me a bottle. Su-yun smiled awkwardly. To be honest, I don't have that many. If you want, I can find some time to make a trip to Ruyun Mountain. There are many types of herbs in Ruyun Mountain, and there are also many rare ones. I'll pick some and give them to you when I'm done. Di Zihong heard this and said, Mr. Su, leave this matter to me. I grew up in Ruyun Mountain. My grandfather, father, and ancestors all made a living by picking herbs. Ruyun Mountain is steep and dangerous. It's easy for people who aren't familiar with it to get lost. Give me a day, and I'll help you settle it. Then you must know the common herbs? Su Yun asked. What a coincidence. He really should find some time to make some medicine in case of an emergency. Di Zihong said confidently, even if it's not common, I should be able to recognize one or two. I could already recite the Compendium of Materia Medica when I was 5. Awesome. Su Yun was sincerely impressed. Even now, he couldn't recite the Compendium of Materia Medica, although he was already a very qualified pharmacist. Su Yun took the money and quickly wrote down all the herbs he needed on a piece of paper. These herbs should be available in Ruyun Mountain, but some of them might be very rare and not easy to find. Di Zihong looked at the list of herbs on the paper. Although he frowned a few times, he was still able to get them done. How is it? Hall Master Di, if some of them are hard to find, then forget it, Su Yun said. I know that some of them are very rare, but I don't want to force you. Mr. Su, don't worry. Although some of them aren't easy to find, I've seen them on Ruyun Mountain when I was young. Even if I can't find them, I know who sells them in the mountain. Don't worry. Di Zihong smiled and stood up. I'll go first. I'll leave Brother Dong in your care. Young miss, if the president comes, please explain to him for me. Lin Suin said, be careful. I'll tell my father. You must pay attention to your safety. Okay. Di Zihong left in a hurry. The things that Su Yun wanted were all available in Ruyun Mountain. Di Zihong was not selfless when he was so concerned about this matter. If he could find all the raw materials for Su Yun would probably give him 1 or 2 pills as a reward after he was done. At that time, he wouldn't have to worry about not receiving a reward without any effort. At least, he wouldn't feel embarrassed if he accepted it. This was why Di Zihong was so concerned about it. Su Yun was also happy and relaxed. It was not easy to find herbs in the mountain. If one was not an expert, there would be danger all the time. Brother Dong, I think my heaven fragrance ointment is much more effective than the medicine given to you by the hospital. Do you dare to remove the gauze? Su Yun smiled. I guarantee that there will be no pain and no scars. I'll give you back your perfect skin. Wu Yuandong couldn't help but be amused by Su Yun. He let Su Yun and Lin Gu remove the gauze that was wrapped with medicine for him. The heaven fragrance ointment was definitely not as painless as Su Yun said. The pain was quite strong, but Wu Yuandong was a man. Naturally, he could endure this kind of pain. Under Su Yun's treatment, Wu Yuandong's body recovered very quickly. The wounds that had just been stitched up were almost healed in an hour. Lin Suin was amazed by this scene. She finally understood that the thing that Su Yun gave Wu Yuandong was definitely a rare and precious medicine that couldn't be bought with money. No wonder Di Zihong only dared to ask for 2 pills for her and her father. He actually asked for a bottle. If word got out, he would be laughed at. Chapter 684. When the nurse came to the ward and saw that the bandages on Wu Yuandong's body had been removed, she panicked. Do you want to die? Why did you give all these? This. Soon, the nurse was stunned by the healing of Wu Yuandong's wounds. This was definitely the fastest recovery she had ever seen. The wounds that were just stitched up last night were already healed today? To be exact, the wound that was still bleeding an hour ago had already healed. Nurse, our patient's wounds have already healed. Why did you put so many bandages on him? Are you trying to give him heat rashes? Su Yun said, Look, he's almost healed. When do you think we can get him discharged? Wu Yuandong also sat up on the bed. Yes, nurse. Look, I'm basically fine now. Can I be discharged? Oh my God. The nurse could hardly believe that the person who was on the verge of death yesterday had almost fully recovered in less than 24 hours. Are you guys some kind of supernatural creatures? How can you recover so quickly? Nurse, I think you've watched too many vampire dramas. Su-Yun shook his head helplessly. If we were supernatural creatures, would we still need to be hospitalized? The nurse nodded dumbly. Yes, if these guys weren't humans, they wouldn't need to be hospitalized. But the hospital director specially instructed us to take care of the patient. President Lin of the Three Lotus Society also instructed us not to let the patient leave the hospital easily. We have to make sure that the patient's bodily functions have completely recovered before letting him leave the hospital. Wu Yuandong smiled. It was all because of Su-Yun that the president was so concerned about him again. Yes, this is indeed a problem. Su-Yun said, then go and find your leader to arrange for a thorough examination of the patient as soon as possible. If the patient recovers and you still want him to stay in the hospital, President Lin won't be happy. Hearing this, the nurse hurriedly ran out to find her leader. She could offend anyone but President Lin of the Three Lotus Society. Don't use my dad to scare people. My dad isn't that kind of unreasonable person. Lin Suin was speechless. If you continue to tarnish my father's reputation, I won't be polite to you. Su-Yun laughed heartily. Your father might not be like that, but the people under your Three Lotus Society might be like me, using the tiger skin as a banner to intimidate others, pretending to be a big shot. Otherwise, everyone in Taiwan wouldn't be so respectful and fearful at the mention of the Three Lotus Association. Wu Yuandong looked at Lin Suin seriously and said, That's right. Young miss, I came back this time because I want to have a chance to discuss this matter with the president. Even the people of the continent know that the people of the Three Lotus Association are too arrogant. This doesn't reflect well on the president. Brother Dong, if you tell my dad, he will definitely think about it. Lin Suin smiled. Actually, my dad has been missing you a lot. Although he would get angry every time I mentioned you to him, it was all because of Ji Feng's instigation. He blamed himself deeply and loved you deeply. It was because he valued you too much that he was so infuriated by Ji Feng. This isn't his fault. Wu Yuandong nodded. Young miss, I have never blamed the president. Really? At the hospital, after the nurse found the leader naturally attached great importance to it. He immediately arranged for all the medical and surgical experts to give Wu Yuandong the most comprehensive physical examination. The results really shocked the experts. Although Wu Yuandong couldn't be said to have fully recovered, he could definitely be discharged and recuperated slowly. After leaving the hospital, Wu Yuandong was in a very good mood. The feeling of returning to Taiwan was really great. When it was close to noon, Lin Suin received a call from Lin Sihai. Lin Sihai wanted to invite Su-Yun and the others for lunch to formally express his gratitude to Su-Yun and Lin Gu. Hearing that Su-Yun's miraculous medicine had allowed Wu Yuandong to be discharged, Lin Sihai couldn't wait for his daughter to bring them to the biggest hotel in Taipei. Lin Sihai was very sincere. He used the Three Lotus Association's highest standard of hospitality to express his gratitude to Su-Yun. Mr. Su, you have helped our Three Lotus Association to eradicate the biggest cancer. On behalf of everyone in the Three Lotus Association, I would like to propose a toast to you. Lin Sihai didn't seem to have taken the initiative to propose a toast to anyone in Taiwan. This could even be said to be his first time. Su-Yun was really embarrassed. President, in fact, you shouldn't thank me. I just came to help Dong Gu. If it weren't for Dong Gu, I wouldn't have appeared in Taiwan. In the past 3 years, Dong Gu has been hiding in the mainland, but he has never forgotten to repay the president's kindness. Even in the face of a big misunderstanding and harm, he firmly believes that he will help the Three Lotus Association to expose Ji Feng. Lin Sihai nodded. Yes, Wu Yuandong is the person I should be most grateful to. Without him, maybe the Three Lotus Association in a few days will no longer be the current Three Lotus Association. After the two drank a glass of wine, Lin Sihai patted Wu Yuandong, who was sitting next to him. Oh, I know you don't blame me, but I want to say that I really blame myself. I shouldn't have doubted you in the past. I was obsessed for a while. Now that you are back, I really don't know how to express the joy in my heart. President, I was cultivated by you, so I should go through water and tread on fire for the Three Lotus Association. Wu Yuandong drank all the wine in the glass. I couldn't stop Ji Feng for 3 years. All of this is my fault. Today is not a confession meeting, everyone is talking about happy things. Lin Suyin said, Dong Ge, your return is the biggest gain of the Three Lotus Association in these 3 years. Lin Sihai smiled and said, Yes, Suyin is right. Today we are going to talk about happy things. Along, on behalf of the Three Lotus Association, you announce my decision today. Today, in addition to the head of the Three Lotus Association, Lin Sihai, there were also several other core members of the Three Lotus Association. Di Zihong went to Ruyun Mountain to pick herbs, and several other hall masters were also crippled. The few people sitting next to Long Liang Hui will be the mainstay of the Three Lotus Association in the future. Long Liang Hui nodded and stood up. The president has decided today to appoint Wu Yuandong as the vice president of the Three Lotus Association. The vice president can exercise all the powers of the president. The president is getting older and older, so he hopes that the vice president can help him with some of the matters of the Three Lotus Association, so that he can have more time to deal with the affairs of the Baoyu Association. This was truly a heaven-shaking piece of good news. For a moment, Wu Yuandong didn't know what to say. President, I don't have the ability. You have virtue and ability, you lack nothing, Lin Sihai said firmly. Lin Sihai firmly said, the decision I made will not change. You have to be the vice president whether you want to or not. If you don't agree, you will be disobeying the order. I will punish you according to the rules. Su Yun was really happy for Wu Yuandong. Dong Ge, I suddenly feel that President Lin is very wise. This decision will be the best decision he has made in the years he has been the president of the Three Lotus Association. It is the fortune of the Three Lotus Association to have you as their vice president. That's right, Vice President, let me give you a toast. Long Liang Hui raised his wine glass and drank it first. Then, I will accept. Wu Yuandong also raised his glass and drank it in one gulp. Lin Sihai smiled. Long, don't drink first, there is still something to be said. That's right, that's right. Also, after the president's decision, Mr. Su Yun, will be the honorary president of the Three Lotus Association from now on. He can do his own things, but he can voice his opinion on any important decisions of the Three Lotus Association. In the future, everyone in the Three Lotus Association will treat Mr. Su Yun like they are meeting the president. Long Liang Hui said loudly, from today onwards, Mr. Su Yun will be the president of the Three Lotus Association. Damn, Su Yun really wasn't mentally prepared for this. Wasn't this too sudden? President Lin, you think too highly of me. Su Yun smiled helplessly. My Dong Ge is the vice president because of his contribution, but I can't be the honorary president, right? Without you, Su Yun, the brothers of the Three Lotus Association wouldn't have the opportunity to sit here today. Who dares to say that my decision is not justified? Lin Sihai said seriously, Su Yun, I won't be so polite with you. I am really old, I don't have so much energy. Oh, is your brother who went through fire and water with you. I believe you will agree to help him. Su Yun awkwardly smiled twice. He understood that President Lin's idea was not so simple. At this time, no one noticed that Lin Suyin's face had already turned red. Perhaps anyone who was too bent should be very clear that Lin Sihai would marry his daughter to whoever he gave the Sonlian Association to. There was no doubt about it. Su Yun, the honorary president, in the eyes of others, was synonymous with prince consort. Even Lin Suyin could guess her father's mind. The president has already decided, you don't have to refuse. Brother, I need you. Wu Yuandong smiled and looked at Su Yun. Su Yun was now riding a tiger. After all, there were so many people watching. Of course, he couldn't ignore President Lin's face. Okay, then I will thank President Lin for his appreciation. Lin Ge, who was sitting on the side, couldn't sit still. He said to himself, you are a big official, don't forget about your younger brother. Ha ha ha. Lin Ge smiled. Lin Ge, I have an idea, I don't know if you are willing or not. If you are not willing, don't be angry if I say it. Lin Gu shrugged his shoulders. As long as you don't want me to be the horse protector, nothing is a problem. Haha, if you want me to be the vice president, I will be very happy. You should practice for a few more years. I, as the vice president, will be the first to disagree. Su Yun joked. Lin Gu, of course, wouldn't care about being the vice president. It was just a joke. AI, it seems that I don't have the life of an official. Lin Sihai continued. Since we are both surnamed Lin, I don't know if you are willing to recognize this old man as your godfather and let Suyin be your godsister. In the future, whether it is in Taiwan, the mainland, or anywhere in the world, as long as you need help from your family, I will not shirk. If you didn't come forward to help yesterday, I am afraid the situation wouldn't be like this now. I don't know how to thank you, so I thought of a way that doesn't need to thank you. As long as you are my godson, then you should do anything for me, and I won't feel so guilty. Lin Gu held the wine glass in his hand and couldn't help but laugh. After a while he looked up and said, Godfather, you are too stingy. In fact, it is very easy to thank me. Just give me 1 billion or so. You're too wise. You've saved so much money by acknowledging a godson. Lin Sihai laughed. You have already agreed. You can't go back on your word. Chapter 685. Happy things always pass quickly. After lunch, Lin Suyin was ready to go to school. Ignoring her special identity and family, everyone had to admit that Lin Suyin was a good student with excellent character and academic performance. This was something that many people could not understand. As the big miss of the Three Lotus Association, why was she still so hardworking in school? She already had everything. However, Lin Suyin definitely did not think so. She knew that everything she had was envied by others. They were all external materials, and only knowledge could enrich her inner spirit. Indeed, knowledge could enhance a woman's special charm, which was why she was recognized as a goddess. Su Yun originally wanted to take Lin Gu away, but after this meal, Lin Gu acknowledged his godfather and godsister. He hoped that Lin Gu could stay and enjoy this kind of life for a few days. In addition, Wu Yuandong really did not want Su Yun to return to the mainland. This was because Wu Yuandong could no longer go back with Su Yun. This made Wu Yuandong's mood very complicated. Brother, stay and play for a few more days. I said before that when you come to Taiwan, I will definitely do my best as a host. Now that I have the chance, you can't just leave like that. Wu Yuandong was very nervous about not being able to repay Su Yun's kindness. He wanted to thank him, but he did not know where to start. However, the first thing was to make Su Yun stay for a while. Only then would he have the chance to repay him. Su Yun did not refuse and nodded. Brother Dong, since you said so, I will definitely cooperate. Taiwan Island is such a beautiful and rich place, I really can't bear to leave. The streets are full of beautiful women. If I leave so early, wouldn't I be wasting a chance to explore Taiwan Island's depths? Ha ha ha. If you want to know more about Taiwan Island, that's fine. Come with me to school now. This afternoon's lesson is a brief history of Taiwan Island. It will let you know more about Taiwan Island. Lin Suyin suddenly said, if you want to explore deeper, it will be meaningless if you don't know about Taiwan Island's history. Come on, follow me to school. A few days ago, Su Yun had no choice but to go to school because Lin Suyin had so many Three Lotus Association bodyguards following her the moment she stepped out of school. Now that everything had been settled, Su Yun naturally did not wish to go to school and be restricted by that. Other than whispering in class, you can't do anything else. I'm not going. Brother. Lin Gu teased Su Yun in a low voice. School is a place for classes. Talking is already against the rules. What else do you want to do? Oh, I understand now. F***ck off. Su Yun really wanted to slap him, but seeing that Lin Gu had just become Lin Sihai's godson, in front of his godfather, he still had to give some face. Of course, he knew what this guy was thinking. In fact, you can't blame Lin Gu for thinking this way. Who told him to hear Lin Suin talking in Su Yun's room in the middle of the night last night? A man and a woman alone in the middle of the night. These words were very sensitive. It was like a student squatting in school and a teacher going to school. A man and a woman alone in the middle of the night in the same room. Obviously, they will do something that Lin Gu, this little boy, doesn't understand. Even if he understands it, he will still blush. Are you going or not? I'll give you a minute to think about it. Lin Suin said. She proposed to go to class together. If Su Yun doesn't go, she also doesn't want to go, but she will lose face. Lin Sihai smiled and helped his daughter to smooth things over. Oh, you go and deal with the things in the meeting this afternoon. Since I have a godson, I will take some time to pick a gift for him. In this case, no one will accompany Su Yun, so let Suin take him to school. Suin, you will be Su Yun's tour guide in the future, okay? I have no problem being a tour guide. There is no place in Taiwan Island that I am not familiar with. But, Lin Suin said, I don't know if he will cooperate or not. Cooperate? I must cooperate. Su Yun nodded his head. You told me to go east, I will never go west. Anyway, everyone has something to do. Lin Sihai deliberately let Su Yun have no one to accompany him. Although he was going to school with Lin Suin, this was probably the most interesting thing that Su Yun can do now. Lin Gu was very excited. Godfather, what gift are you going to give me? A house, of course. I will buy you a house that you like. Lin Sihai said very easily. Damn. If he knew that President Lin was so generous, he, Su Yun, would have taken the initiative to apply to be his godson. This was 100 times better than being the chairman of the board of directors. He only said a few words and he already gave him a house. Damn. Isn't Lin Sihai too generous? Lin Gu was really shocked. Generous. He didn't become a junior in vain. Worth it. Su Yun and Lin Suin went back to school together. Although he came to Taiwan University for only a few days, his popularity seemed to be very high. A guy who hangs out with Miss Lin, his popularity was obviously not a problem. However, this kind of popularity obviously caused some trouble for Su Yun. After all, not everyone welcomed him. Because of Su Yun's appearance, it seemed to shatter many people's dreams. For example, Teacher Bai of Tu Gay History. He didn't like Su Yun very much. In the past, there were no boys around Lin Suin. Even if there were, it was Shu Qili, that annoying guy. So Teacher Bai was not worried at all that Lin Suin would like any boy. This also seemed to satisfy the small desire in his heart that he could still retain the fantasy of being in love with a teacher. Although Teacher Bai taught history, he was not old. He was just a graduate student who graduated 2 years ago. He just started working at Taiwan University for 2 years. With Lin Suin's charm, there were definitely many people who would like her. Even a teacher would not be able to escape. Teacher Bai was like the other boys. They all dreamed of having the chance to get Lin Suin's favor and then riding on the horse to live a happy life. Fantasies were always fantasies, but the existence of fantasies was also beautiful. Now, Su Yun's appearance by Lin Suin's side mercilessly shattered most of the boys' fantasies. Including Teacher Bai, they finally understood that his fantasies were just fantasies. Soon, all of Teacher Bai's anger was vented on the unfamiliar face of Su Yun. This student, yes, I'm talking about you. Teacher Bai pointed at Su Yun. How come I feel like we haven't met last semester? If you've walked into the wrong classroom, I can give you 1 minute to leave. Su Yun was really puzzled. How could a university teacher have such a good memory? This was not AF King High School. Especially for a university teacher, it was already good enough to meet once a week. How could he remember a person's face so clearly? That was T. Through the analysis of the teacher's gaze, Su Yun quickly understood that the teacher was looking for trouble. I'm sorry, teacher. Maybe I look too ordinary, so you can't recognize me, Su Yun said. It's fine, I forgive you. You can continue with your class. I don't mind. Teacher Bai glared at him. But I mind. I don't like people who sneak into my classroom and disturb my class. If you can't prove that you're a student of this class, then please leave. How can I prove it? Soo-yoon shrugged helplessly. He cursed in his heart. Damn you. You're just jealous that I can sit next to a beautiful girl. F***ck, even if you don't have the chance, don't take it out on me. If not for the fact that you're a teacher, I would have poked your teeth out. Teacher Bai did not think it was too much and said, find your life counselor to prove it. I believe he won't forget the students in his class, right? Teacher Bai, our counselor is very busy. Maybe he's not in school. Lin Suin couldn't stand it any longer and explained for Soo-yoon, even if he isn't a student of our course, the fact that he can come to your class means that he is interested in the history of homosexuality. As a teacher, you should be happy to have such a student. Although Lin Suin had been doubting him, Mr. Bai was not angry at all. The problem was still pointed at Soo-yoon. It seemed like this kid was really something. He could even get Lin Suin to put in a good word for him. The more it was like this, the more he had to chase this guy out of the class. Good. Since you like the history of homosexuality so much and are a good student, I'll give you a chance. Mr. Bai said, let's use the simplest language to describe the development of the history of Taiwan. We already discussed this last semester. If you can say it, I'll believe that you're really here for the class. Lin Suin's heart skipped a beat. After all, Soo-yoon was from the mainland. It would be too difficult for him to talk about the history of homosexuality. Even a good student like her, who had listened carefully in class, would not know where to start when faced with such a question, let alone Soo-yoon. However, Soo-yoon stood up and walked to the podium without hesitation. He picked up the chalk and started writing on the blackboard. Taiwan Island was known as Ijo and Liuqiu in ancient times. The Gaoshan people were the earliest residents of Taiwan Island and the main minority. Hokkien was the main dialect of the people of Taiwan Island. During the Southern Song Dynasty, Penghu belonged to Fujian Road. During the Ming Dynasty, it was known as Taiwan Island. At the end of the Ming Dynasty, it was invaded by the Dutch and Spanish colonists. In 1661, the national hero, Mr. Zhang, recovered and developed it. In the Qing Dynasty, Taiwan Prefecture was established as Fujian Province in 1684 and was officially established as a province in 1885. In 1895, it was occupied by the Japanese. In 1945, it returned to Huaxia's territory after the victory of the anti-Japanese war. In 1949, the Kuomintang government fled to Taiwan Island, causing the Taiwan problem. In the 1960s, Taiwan implemented an export-oriented industrialization strategy and achieved economic growth, becoming one of the four little dragons of Asia. The beautiful handwriting on the blackboard described the history of this special island that belonged to Huaxia. Soo-yoon wrote very seriously and Lin Suin read very seriously. Everyone in the classroom was shocked. Lin Suin couldn't believe that Soo-yoon's knowledge was so comprehensive. Teacher Bai was also dumbfounded. This guy knew even more than what he was saying. Even he had to look at the textbook to be able to speak, but this guy seemed to have it at his fingertips. Other than being shocked, everyone was also impressed. It seemed that seeing a teacher being humiliated was more exciting than anything else. This was something that hadn't changed from elementary school to middle school to university. This was because most of the teachers were too awesome, such as Teacher Bai. So to see him being humiliated, no one would not be happy. In fact, this was nothing to Soo-yoon. As a member of the Dragon Brigade, as a warrior and guardian of his country, he naturally had to understand the history of the country he was protecting. Taiwan Island was an inseparable part of Huaxia for thousands of years, so he had to understand the history of Taiwan Island. It was that simple. Chapter 686. F***ck your sister. It's okay if you don't know, but it's okay if you know too much. You didn't intend to let me have a break from the start, did you? Soo-yoon finally understood. Teacher Bai was unhappy to see him in the classroom and insisted on chasing him out. His goal was also very straightforward. No matter what Soo-yoon did, the result would be the same. So why should Soo-yoon continue to make trouble for himself? Leaving would at least allow the other students to continue enjoying their wonderful university life. At this time, Soo-yoon chose to sacrifice himself. There was nothing wrong with that. When Soo-yoon stood up, Lin Soo-in sighed helplessly. Using an extremely low voice, she said to Soo-yoon, "Since Mr. Bai doesn't like you so much, why don't you wait for me near the female dormitory? I'll go find you after class. Don't cause trouble in school." "Yeah, Teacher Bai really doesn't like me at all. But he seems to like you a lot." Soo-yoon shrugged and joked. Then, he strode out of the classroom. Before leaving the classroom, Soo-yoon purposely turned back to look at Teacher Bai. Actually, the history of homosexuality is not as simple as it is written in the books. If you want to be a qualified teacher, I'm afraid you'll have to further your studies. Soo-yoon left under the shocked gazes of the students. In school, there were students who dared to provoke a teacher, but Soo-yoon was definitely the first one who dared to use professional knowledge to provoke a teacher. It was said that knowledge was wealth, and knowledge was power. Now, it seemed that this saying was absolutely true. Some students just know a little bit, and they don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. People like that will never achieve anything great. Teacher Bai said angrily after Soo-yoon left. However, his words wouldn't convince anyone. At least Lin Soo-in was sure that Soo-yoon's current achievements were far greater than Teacher Bai's. Without Soo-yoon by her side, Lin Soo-in felt bored for the first time in class. In the past, she always felt that the time in class passed very quickly. However, this time it was different. She endured until the end of class with great difficulty. Unexpectedly, Lin Soo-in felt much more relaxed in an instant. When Lin Soo-in packed her books and was about to leave, Miss Bai walked up to her. "Mia, do you have time this afternoon? A friend of mine gave me 2 concert tickets. It's our Big Bent Giant Lungs concert. It's a diva-level concert. These tickets are good seats in the front row. It wasn't easy for me to get them through my connections. I'm sorry, Mr. Bai. I'm afraid I don't have time." Although Lin Soo-in's rejection was not tactful, she still gave him enough face. Mr. Bai was obviously not satisfied with this answer. "Since school is over, it's time for rest and entertainment. How about this, Mia? I'll treat you to a Western meal first, and then we'll go to the concert. I know you're tired after a day of studying, and you really need to relax." Lin Soo-in was stunned and asked, "Mr. Bai, I said I don't have time. Didn't you hear me clearly?" This. Mr. Bai was quite embarrassed. Faced with this continuous and direct rejection, he was more or less embarrassed. "Miss Lin Soo-in, I'm just being kind." "Then you can treat me as a student who treats kindness as ill intent." Lin Soo-in stood up and said, "Bye, see you next week." Seeing Lin Soo-in's figure slowly walk away, Mr. Bai really wanted to tear the 2 concert tickets in his hands into pieces. He had spent a lot of money to get these tickets. They were the best seats in the back row of the concert. After spending so much money, Lin Soo-in had rejected him directly. This was unacceptable. Normally, most girls would not reject this kind of invitation. Even if they knew that after attending the concert, they would have to pay the price of rolling in the sheets, it was still quite attractive. "Mr. Bai, Mia doesn't have time, but I do. Can you invite me to the concert?" The business major had no shortage of beauties. Although the girl in front of Mr. Bai was definitely not as elegant as Lin Soo-in, she was enough to attract attention. "Of course," Mr. Bai said happily. After all, he had nowhere to vent his anger that night. Now that a female student had taken the initiative to come to his door, of course, he would not miss it. Although the price was a bit high, it was 100 times better than the ticket going down the drain. Lin Soo-in came to the female dormitory building. There was no sign of Soo-yoon around. She called a few times, but Soo-yoon did not pick up. Did this guy stand her up again? After waiting for a few minutes, Lin Soo-in still did not see Soo-yoon. She could only return to the dormitory with a stomach full of anger. She opened the door and was so shocked that she almost screamed. Soo-yoon was sitting in her dormitory, and he was very proud of making her a cup of tea. "How did you get in?" How did you know this is my dormitory? Lin Suin stared at Su Yun with wide eyes. Could this guy be invisible? Bull ****. That was a superpower that only existed in YY novels. Su Yun stroked his chin. I'm talking about my observation skills. Do you believe me? Lin Suin shook her head. Of course not. Do you still remember when you drank too much last time? You said your dormitory was on the 3rd floor. Of course, I don't remember which room it was. Su Yun said, so, after I came to the female dormitory, I walked around. Then, I accidentally discovered that there was a limited edition bra of Wilsner's hanging on the balcony. Furthermore, the windows were not closed. Lin Suin stared at the balcony with wide eyes. Indeed, there was a set of underwear drying there. How embarrassing! This limited edition Wales underwear is priced at about 6 figures. I think that in this female dormitory building, other than the big missy of the Three Lotus Club who can afford to wear it, the others can only look at it. Su Yun smiled slightly. Consider yourself lucky. But don't forget that there's always someone better than you in this world. There are plenty of rich people in our dormitory. Someone even bought a Victoria's Secret that's worth more than $200,000. Moreover, it was signed by an international A-list actor, Lin Suin said. Su Yun shrugged his shoulders. Luckily, I only know Wales and not Victoria's Secret. Hey, shouldn't you explain why a man like you has such a deep understanding of female underwear? Lin Suin suddenly realized that this question was more interesting. Are you one of those perverts who collects female underwear? I'm not afraid that you will laugh at me if I tell you. Wales invited me to help shoot a promotional poster. Su Yun embarrassedly said, it's in Suong. Lin Suin's mouth almost dropped. Oh my God. Aren't you exaggerating? Wales brand spokesperson is Ling Jiling. Don't tell me you went to partner with her. Are you kidding me? Su Yun, you must be the one who did it, right? Alright, stop joking. Even if you admit that you know about female underwear, I won't laugh at you. What the heck? You're the one who's joking. Ling Jiling is my godsister. Su Yun, if not for me, she wouldn't be Wales brand spokesperson. Don't flatter yourself. If you have the ability, get me an autographed photo to prove it. Of course, Lin Suin didn't believe him. She didn't know that Su Yun was the future successor of the Mainland Sky Entertainment Group. Not to mention Ling Jiling's autograph photo, even if he had Fan Bingbing and Zhang Zi's autograph photos, it wouldn't be difficult for Su Yun. Knock, knock, knock. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Lin Suin was shocked and quickly waved a hand to signal Su Yun to hide in the bathroom. Who is it? Lin Suin saw that Su Yun hid well and asked tentatively. It's me. A man's voice sounded outside the door. Lin Suin raised her eyebrows in annoyance. It's the instructor. Sorry, I'm not feeling well and have already gone to bed. What's the matter? The guy outside the door didn't know what to do. The sound of searching for the key suddenly sounded outside the door. Nothing much. Just checking the dormitory. Since you're not feeling well, don't get out of bed. I have the building manager's key. I can open it myself. Hearing this, Lin Suin didn't say anything. She directly went to bed and pulled her blanket over her body. When the economic and trade instructor opened the door and came in, Lin Suin was already lying on the bed pretending to be sick. Sorry, instructor. I've already taken off my clothes. It's not convenient for me to get up. Lin Suin hoped that he would leave quickly so that Su Yun, who was hiding in the bathroom, would be safe. If they were found to have a boy in the dormitory, Lin Suin wasn't afraid of any punishment. More importantly, once the news got out, how could she face others in the future? Besides, they didn't do anything. If they were caught, there was no way for them to explain. Hearing that Lin Suin had already taken off her clothes, the economic and trade instructor didn't seem to have the intention to leave. He even sat beside Lin Suin's bed with concern. Did you take your temperature? Could it be a fever? No. No, I'm just a little tired. I'll be fine after resting for a while, Lin Suin said as she asked him to leave. Instructor, why are you checking the room now? You should get off work and rest. I won't delay your time. Quickly go and check. The instructor still didn't have the intention to leave. It's not a delay. You're sick. As an instructor, of course, I have to take responsibility. It doesn't matter if you get off work or not. The most important thing is that your body can get better. Thank you for your concern. I'm much better now. Lin Suin was already impatient. However, she couldn't show it on the surface. She could only endure it. However, the instructor wasn't a good person. By the way, my ancestors studied Chinese medicine. I know how to massage acupoints. If you don't feel well, you can just massage a few acupoints. If you trust me, I can give you a massage. How can I do that? There's no need to trouble you. Lin Suin started to feel disgusted. As an instructor, how could there be such a shameless person? No trouble, no trouble. As the damn instructor spoke, he actually prepared to lift the blanket for Lin Suin. Lin Suin's voice was a little anxious. Instructor, men and women shouldn't touch each other. Moreover, I'm not wearing any clothes. Can you show some respect? The instructor smiled, but he didn't stop his actions. He actually wanted to lift Lin Suin's blanket. Of course, Lin Suin wouldn't let him have his way. Because she didn't even take off her clothes and shoes. If they were discovered, the instructor would definitely be suspicious. The instructor was ready to lift Lin Suin's blanket. However, Lin Suin grabbed the corner of the blanket and didn't let him have his way. He could only continue to comfort her. A doctor has the heart of a parent. Don't worry. I won't have any bad thoughts. Damn you, scum. Su Yun couldn't stand it anymore. He suddenly walked out of the bathroom and scolded. The instructor was stunned. When he saw the person who suddenly appeared, he exclaimed, "What are you, Kwang?" Without waiting for him to finish his question, Su Yun kicked him, causing him to swallow his words back into his stomach. Su Yun kicked him until he fainted, lying on the floor without making a sound. Chapter 687. You're happy, but what about me? Tomorrow, I'll be criticized by the whole school. Then, I'll be accused of having an improper relationship with a boy in the dormitory. Lin Suin rolled her eyes. How can I face others in the future? I'm so wronged. I didn't do anything, but I still have to have such a bad reputation. I'd rather die of injustice. Su Yun smiled. If you don't want to be wronged, then do something improper. I don't mind. I'll accompany you to the end. You're still in the mood to joke at a time like this. Lin Suin stared at Su Yun. Tell me, what should I do? You're the one who did this to him. Hurry up and think of a perfect solution for me. Originally, you should have just stayed in the toilet and let me think of a way to get him out of here. But you just had to make things worse. Sigh. Didn't I tell you not to cause trouble? You're just giving me a headache. That scumbag's mind was filled with wanting to see you naked. Can't you see it? Su Yun said, You're thinking too simply. Even if he lifted the blanket and saw you wearing clothes, he would definitely not give up because of that. He's just a scumbag. Other than taking action, there's nothing I can do to stop him. You have no way to stop him. Lin Suin spread out her hands. Okay, you're right. Other than taking action, you have no way to stop him. Now, how should we deal with the aftermath? When the sky gets a little darker, I'll wait downstairs. You can throw him down from the balcony. Su Yun. Don't worry. I promise to catch him and not let him fall to his death. You just treat it as if nothing happened. Everything will be fine. There won't be any problems. What if he falls to his death? Lin Suin said angrily. I know you can catch him, but what about after he wakes up? Will he not pursue it? He's our professional instructor. He has a lot of power in our profession. If we offend him, he won't let it go. Su-yun stepped forward and patted this scumbag's face. He said to Lin Suin, "I'm afraid that the kick just now will make him forget his mother's surname. Trust me this time, I promise it won't be a problem." Since there was no other way, Lin Suin could only take a gamble. When there was no one around, Su-yun jumped down from the third floor first. Lin Suin immediately threw the instructor down. Su-yun carried the unconscious scum and threw him into the holly of the green field. In order to ensure that this guy would forget everything tomorrow, Su-yun kicked this scum's temple again. Not only would he not know his mother's surname, he might not even remember his father's surname. By the time Su-yun had cleaned up the mess, Lin Suin had already arrived downstairs. "Let's go. My dad said that his friend gave him VIP tickets for tonight's concert at Taipei Stadium. He's afraid that you'll feel bored at Taipei Stadium, so he asked me to bring you and Lin Gu to watch the concert together." "Who is it?" Su-yun was stunned and immediately asked excitedly, "Why, you're a fan?" Lin Suin was surprised. Su-yun smiled. "If it's Shui Gu or something, I'm really interested." "Old antique," Lin Suin said. "It's our Taipei little queen. She has the nickname of Little Giant Lung. She's also very popular in your continent." Su-yun nodded. "If it's a beauty, then I'll like it even more. Let's go." Taiwan Island was indeed a city with a large population density. The popularity of the concert venue was far beyond Su-yun's imagination. It was definitely a sea of people, with 3 layers inside and 3 layers outside. Not only was the stadium full of seats, but the large screen outside the stadium was also filled with fans. It was really good to be a star these days. The money in the fans' pockets was really easy to cheat. After humming and singing a few songs, although it would be tiring, the income was definitely not something an ordinary person could earn in a lifetime. As the future head of the Sky Entertainment Group, Su-yun had the right to sit in the VIP seats. But what he and Lin Suin didn't expect was that Teacher Bai, who had a brief history of Taipei Island, was actually able to buy a seat in the back row of the VIP seats. Lin Gu had already heard a few things about this Teacher Bai from Su-yun. He didn't have a good impression of this guy who dared to chase his brother out of the classroom. If it weren't for the fact that there were so many people around, he would definitely be willing to use this guy as a human punching bag to practice his punches and kicks. Teacher Bai's level of surprise was definitely no less than the two of them. Not just anyone could sit in the VIP seats. They were all important people who had been invited. Why are you here?" Clearly, Teacher Bai didn't know Lin Suin's identity. If he knew, he definitely wouldn't have done such a crazy thing. "What, the president and the young miss of the Three Lotus Society, don't they have the right?" Lin Gu smiled. He knew that Su-yun and Lin Suin weren't in the mood to pay attention to this Teacher Bai, so he took the initiative to shoulder the responsibility. He walked to the spot between Teacher Bai and the female student he had brought and sat down. "Teacher, the value of this ticket is equivalent to a few months of your salary, right? It's too extravagant to use it to pick up girls." Teacher Bai still had the face of a teacher and said to Lin Gu, "Don't talk nonsense. She and I are just normal teachers and students. It's not a big deal for a teacher to invite a student to a concert. It's not a big deal to go to a concert, but as a teacher, do you really need to bring something like this to a concert?" Lin Ji's hand was suddenly holding a box of Durex super thin and super tough balloons for adults. TSK, this brand of balloons isn't cheap, right? Teacher Bai was shocked. He didn't even know when this kid had taken the thing from his pocket. You're talking nonsense. This isn't mine. Then, this is yours? Lin Ji's hand shifted, and another box of Okamoto balloons for adults appeared. What's the meaning of the spiked stick on this? As expected of a teacher, you sure have a good sense of humor. Also, this God's oil is yours, right? Ha ha, this guy sure has everything. Teacher Bai's face fell. You're trying to frame me. Do you think I have nothing better to do? I don't even know you. Why would I bring so many adult toys to frame you? Am I crazy? After Lin Gu said that, he tossed all the stuff at Teacher Bai. As a teacher, TSK TSK TSK. I think you're more like a beast in human clothing. Lin Gu returned to his seat after he was done with the trouble. At this time, the girl that Teacher Bai had brought could not sit still anymore. Even though she knew something was going to happen when she agreed to come with Teacher Bai, that was only when she was in love with him. Now that this pervert had been exposed, of course, she would not stay any longer. Pervert. The girl threw down a heavy sentence. She did not want to watch the concert anymore. She turned around and left quickly. Teacher Bai's heart felt like it had been whipped. He was not in the mood to watch the concert anymore. He quickly got up and chased after her. He had already spent so much money. If he let the duck that was already in his mouth fly away, then he would really suffer a double loss today. Seeing that Teacher Bai had also left in a hurry, Lin Gu immediately whispered something to the driver and guide that Lin Si-hai had arranged for him. He would not let this person who harassed his godsister and kicked his brother Yun out of class go so easily. He had to let him know that the Three Lotus Association was not someone he could mess with. If he didn't arrange for a few people to beat him up until his mother couldn't recognize him, then he, Lin Gu, was not good enough. Don't go overboard. Su Yun understood Lin Gu. At least let him go to class. After all, he still has to earn money to feed his family. Lin Gu chuckled mischievously and nodded. I know. Right, brother, do you want to use this? As he spoke, Lin Gu handed over the box of Durex that he had stolen from Teacher Bai's pocket. It hasn't been opened yet. It's a whole box. It's super thin. Maybe you and my sister can use it. Lin Suyin happened to see this scene. Her whole face instantly turned red. Lin Gu, do you believe that I won't strangle you to death right now? Lin Gu stuck out his tongue and quickly stopped talking. Su Yun really regretted letting Lin Gu go to Qingdao to play for a few days. This guy must have been led astray by that brat Sui Yeming. The concert started, but Lin Suyin was completely unable to immerse herself in it. When she closed her eyes, the image of Lin Gu handing the box of Durex to Su Yun appeared in her mind. When she opened her eyes, she saw Su Yun lying on the bed naked. God. Lin Suyin really couldn't believe what had happened to her. She had never been interested in men. Why was her mind filled with this man sitting beside her? Could this be the legendary young girl in love? No. Absolutely impossible. Lin Suyin made a final struggle in her heart. She was Lin Suyin. She wouldn't be stupid enough to fall in love with a man. Even if she was beaten to death, she wouldn't admit it. Even if this man was Su Yun, so what? She definitely wouldn't fall in love with him. But the truth was the truth. No matter how Lin Suyin defended herself, she couldn't deny the different feelings she had for Su Yun. Could it be because of that mouth-to-mouth resuscitation? Lin Suyin really felt that she was going crazy. She rubbed her temples hard and tried not to think about these questions. She wanted the music to quickly fill her mind. But no matter what she did, it was useless. Her mind wasn't on the concert at all. What's wrong? Are you not feeling well? Su Yun suddenly realized that something was wrong with Lin Suyin, so he turned around and asked. Lin Suyin shook her head hard. Please, don't be so attentive. Don't make me think that you're so outstanding. God, what kind of joke was God playing on Lin Suyin? Just a few words of concern from Su Yun made her feel that she was going to die of happiness. Lin Suyin repeated over and over in her heart. It's over. It's over. It seems that I'm really hopeless. With Su Yun by her side, she would have a sense of security that even her father couldn't give her. But Lin Suyin was very clear that Su Yun would never stay in Taiwan forever. He would return to the mainland sooner or later. Because of this, Lin Suyin absolutely couldn't let herself have that kind of attachment and dependence on Su Yun. Because if that was the case, she wouldn't be able to bear it when Su Yun left. But Lin Suyin didn't know that she had already developed a sense of attachment and dependence on Su Yun. No matter how she denied it, or how she restrained herself, once Su Yun really said that he wanted to leave, she would definitely not be able to bear it. Even if she could deceive herself for a while, she couldn't deceive herself for a lifetime. As the last song ended, Lin Suin was the first to stand up and said, "It's getting late. Let's go. I still have classes tomorrow morning." "It's fine. Let my brother accompany you." Lin Gu chuckled. He didn't notice anything wrong with Yi Qianqian. Su Yun patted Lin Ji's shoulder. "I'm not a student. How can I go to school every day? I have something to ask Brother Dong tomorrow. If your sister doesn't have the energy in the morning, you'll be responsible for sending her to school." "No need. I can do it myself." Although Lin Suin said it with a smile, her voice made people feel a little distant. Lin Gu was stunned. Looking at Lin Suin's back, he asked Su Yun in confusion, "Brother, what's wrong with her?" "I don't know. Maybe her period came." Su Yun shook his head. Of course, he didn't understand the girl's thoughts. Lin Suin tried to calm herself down with indifference. Otherwise, she really couldn't control her emotions. Lin Gu said with a naughty smile, "Not bad, brother. You've developed quite quickly. You even know when your period comes? Is this considered a safe period? No wonder you guys don't want Durex." Chapter 688. Ever since Ji Feng's matter was exposed, the Japanese living on Taiwan Island seemed to have evaporated in an instant. This kind of thing naturally attracted attention and suspicion. The Three Lotus Association was fully prepared to fight, and Lin Si-hai was also prepared to meet the big island that wanted to get the name list of the Protector Fishing Organization. But all of a sudden, it was as if nothing had happened. Ji Feng's failure seemed to have reached the ears of the Japanese early on, so after Ji Feng was imprisoned, the Japanese lost all contact with him. Ji Feng, who had been waiting for the Japanese to rescue him, finally understood this simple truth after 3 days. He was just a chess piece used by the Japanese, a lackey. If he was crippled, he would be abandoned without hesitation. The Japanese would not make a big fuss over him and ruin their plan. When Ji Feng had no value and no name list of the leaders of the Protector Fishing Organization, he was no different from ordinary garbage. Keeping him would only slowly rot, so it was better to just throw him away. And the Japanese did the same, abandoning Ji Feng without hesitation. Ji Feng, who had figured everything out, was extremely angry. He begged Lin Si-hai to give him another chance. As long as he was released, he would definitely atone for his sins and kill the Japanese on the big island. He would use his own way to redeem himself for the mistakes he had made. But Lin Si-hai obviously had no intention of giving Ji Feng another chance. A traitor would always be a traitor. This was the same principle as stealing a needle when you are young and stealing silver when you grow up. If Ji Feng could be forgiven easily and not punished, his next betrayal would only be a matter of time. He would still choose to betray for his own benefit. Lin Si-hai allowed Ji Feng to be like a fish in water in the Three Lotus Association because he was a person who did not suspect the people he used. Ji Feng's betrayal could not make him not suspect him. But seeing that he had contributed so much to the Three Lotus Association over the years, Lin Si-hai did not kill him. Even if Ji Feng wanted to kill Lin Si-hai still showed his magnanimity with his own tolerance. It was not that he did not give Ji Feng a chance, but that he gave him a chance to live. This was the greatest tolerance Lin Si-hai could give him. However, Ji Feng was not satisfied. He wanted freedom. Lin Si-hai resolutely refused. He knew very well that if he gave Ji Feng freedom, Ji Feng would want power. His greed was the craziest thing Lin Si-hai had ever seen in his life. Using the word ambitious to describe Ji Feng was the most appropriate. Su Yun was finally able to enjoy a week of leisure and carefree days. Although there were a lot of things to do in the Three Lotus Association, Wu Yuandong was always able to find time to accompany his brothers. But most of the time, Lin Suin was the one who was responsible for accompanying him. Although Lin Suin had tried to distance herself from Su Yun after the concert, it ended in failure very quickly. Lin Suin told herself that since Su Yun would leave sooner or later, there was no need for her to make things difficult for herself when he was still gay. Some beautiful things should be cherished. If she deliberately destroyed them, then it would be her fault. She might as well let nature take its course. Su Yun had practically walked all over Taiwan Island. The day before Su Yun decided to leave, he decided to accompany Lin Suyin to another class. However, the class was a little boring. It was computer application. In fact, this kind of class could be banned for people nowadays. They could either learn more advanced programming courses or just not waste time. Not to mention the young people of Taiwan Island, even the uncles and aunties of the mainland could easily go online to solve computer problems. Therefore, the entire class was basically a lesson in the internet cafe. The teacher was too lazy to care. Some people watched American, British, Japanese, and Korean dramas that were too gay. Some people went to League of Legends to kill themselves. There were also people who were bored to death browsing the internet. Lin Suyin belonged to the last category. Su Yun belonged to the second category. After losing a few rounds, Su Yun felt embarrassed and quickly closed the game. He cursed in his heart. If you have the guts, come out and fight me in real life. F***ck, let's see who's afraid of who when the time comes. I'll take on 5 people. Let's see who's the real loser. This little girl is so cute. Her mother really knows how to dress her up. Lin Suyin suddenly said while browsing the internet. Su Yun turned around to take a look. F***ck. Isn't that Guagua on the computer screen? He saw Guagua wearing a Tang-style women's costume with a cute smile. She stood in Shenzhong's Wanhua Park where hundreds of flowers were blooming. That cuteness was really too sneaky. It was spring and flowers were blooming. It was obvious that Ruan Qingshuang and the others were taking advantage of the school's 2 holidays each month to bring Guagua out for an outing. That was why they had taken so many lovable photos. Where did you see her? Su Yun stretched his head out in bewilderment and exclaimed in his heart. F***ck, so famous. Guagua was actually in the headlines. Fortunately, Teacher Wang had already completely given up on grabbing headlines. Otherwise, wouldn't his lungs explode from anger if a little girl trampled on him? In any case, he was a scumbag who cheated on his wife while she was pregnant, so it didn't matter. Su Yun really wasn't making insinuations about Teacher Wan. Lin Suyin looked at Su Yun as if she was looking at old antique. Are you serious? This little girl has been so popular recently. Haven't you heard? This is a set of photos her mother took of her in Shenzhong's Wanhua Park. After it was posted online, netizens immediately discovered it, and posted a post calling her Little Princess Wanhua. After that, this Little Princess Wanhua became a hot topic, and various online media outlets fought to be the first to report on it. Su Yun's eyes widened, and a fine sweat broke out on his forehead. Guagua had actually become an online celebrity. Did she want to die? He had only been gone for 10 days or so. Could it be that Chou Yun had also gone crazy? It hadn't been long since they had dealt with the executioner Miao Dao, and the Netherworld King hadn't made a move yet. He was probably patiently waiting for Miao Dao's reply. Now that Guagua was so popular, there was absolutely no reason for Miao Dao not to know her whereabouts. If the Netherworld King couldn't get news of Miao Dao, he would definitely know that something had happened to him. Phew. The more Su Yun thought about it, the more scared he felt. He even had hallucinations. Perhaps one day, the online news would really be filled with news about the disappearance of Little Princess Wanhua. That would be troublesome. I'm leaving, Su Yun suddenly said. Lin Suyin said with a face full of surprise. No way? You're leaving? Wait a minute. Su Yun, you're strange. After you saw this little girl, your expression was very strange. Do you know her? My daughter. Su Yun said. Even though this was in class, Lin Suyin was so shocked that she almost cried out, No way. Are you kidding me? Your daughter? Your daughter is so old already. She's not blood-related, but she's even closer. Su Yun didn't know how to explain it. Anyway, I have to return to Shenzhong now. She can't be exposed by the media now. Damn it. Which bastard created this hype? Since she's your goddaughter, you should be happy. She's very popular now. Lin Suin said, "Why are you still so angry?" Su Yun shook his head. "You don't understand. I'm sorry, I can't accompany you until school is over. I have to leave early. If there's a chance, go to the mainland to play. Shenzhong's prosperity is not inferior to Taiwan. Then I have to send you home to pack your things and go to the airport." Lin Suin said and closed the web page and chatting software. Her expression was very calm. She didn't become anxious because Su Yun said he was leaving. Instead, she was very calm. "You bought a lot of souvenirs and said you wanted to give them to your friends." Su Yun calmed down and nodded. He didn't reject Lin Suin's kindness. On the way home, Su Yun called Lin Gu and asked him to hurry back to Shenzhong with him. Hearing Su Yun's words, Lin Gu was sure that something must have happened in Shenzhong. He didn't delay any longer and quickly returned to the Lin family to wait. After Lin Sihai and Wu Yuandong heard that Su Yun had an urgent matter and had to go back, they immediately put down all their work and gathered at the Lin family. They wanted to accompany Su Yun to have a farewell meal, but Su Yun rejected everyone's kindness. He just called to check the flight. There was a flight back to the mainland in an hour. When he reached the mainland, he could directly transfer to Shenzhong Airport. Su Yun could use the fastest speed to reach Shenzhong. If he missed the flight in an hour, he was afraid that he would have to wait for more than 5 hours. Su Yun didn't have so much time to waste. If Leng Chen knew that his subordinate, Miao Dao, died in Shenzhong, he's afraid that he would be angry now. Speaking of which, Lang Chen's patience was enough. Su Yun didn't dare to expect that Lang Chen would continue to wait patiently. "If you need my help, you must call me." Before Su Yun left, Wu Yuandong said to him very seriously, "I'll say it again, even if I have to bet my life, I will definitely help you." Lin Sihai also opened his mouth. "Su Yun, you are the president of the Three Lotus Group. You don't need to be polite with anything. If you say a word, I will immediately let Ohu take someone to accompany you back. If there's anything, we can solve it." "Thank you for your kindness, President." Su Yun couldn't involve the Three Lotus Group. At least now Su Yun knew a lot about the Three Lotus Group. The Three Lotus Group was definitely not an ordinary organization. It also shouldered the mission of fighting against Turtle Island. The Three Lotus Group couldn't casually come out and do such a dangerous thing. If the Three Lotus Group was in trouble, Turtle Island would lose a huge protective umbrella. The Japanese didn't dare to make a move because they were afraid of the Three Lotus Group's strength. Of course, Su Yun couldn't affect national affairs because of his personal affairs. He would never give the Japanese any chance. With the Three Lotus Group guarding Taiwan and Turtle Island, the Japanese wouldn't stand up so easily. "Be careful." Lin Suin didn't say much to Su Yun. She turned around and reminded Lin Gu, "You are a member of the Lin family and a member of the Three Lotus Group. Therefore, you must ensure the safety of the benefactor of the Three Lotus Group." "Sister, don't worry. Even if Godfather didn't acknowledge me as his godson, I still won't let my brother be in any danger." Lin Gu patted his chest and promised, "As long as I, Lin Gu, am alive, no one will be able to harm my brother. This is a military pledge, right?" Lin Sihai patted his godson, whom he had met by fate, and whispered, "Take care." Su Yun and Lin Gu boarded the flight to the mainland without hesitation. Before boarding, Su Yun called Ruan Qingshuang. He didn't mean to blame her. He just told her that he would be back soon. He asked her and Guagua to wait for him at home and not to go out again. Chapter 689. Before sunset, Su Yun and Lin Gu finally got off the plane. Chong picked them up at the exit and immediately rushed back to the hotel. Along the way, Chong was quite excited, but Su Yun was not in the mood. He didn't tell Chong about Guagua's dangerous situation. Lin Gu knew Su Yun's thoughts very well. He just didn't want more people to worry. After all, even if he told them, they wouldn't be able to solve it. The only thing that comforted Su Yun was that Guagua wasn't in any danger yet. However, it was only a matter of time before Lang Chen's people made a move. Su Yun knew this better than anyone else. Taking Guagua away from Shanjiang was definitely not the solution. Although Lang Chen's people didn't make a move, Su Yun believed that they were already in the enemy's sights. After all, the enemy was so strong. However, when Su Yun returned to the hotel and didn't see Ruan Qingxuang and Guagua, he was stopped by another person. "Mr. Su, your trip to Taiwan seems to be going well." Li Chun's appearance undoubtedly brought more trouble to Su Yun. "The big boss has asked me to wait for you here for many days. Since you're back, it means that the problem of Taiwan has been resolved smoothly." "Shouldn't we talk now?" Chong asked with a blank face. "Who is this girl?" "My brother doesn't have time to talk to your big boss right now. If you know what's good for you, get out of here." Lin Ge had suffered losses from the other party, so he didn't have a good impression of them. "Don't force me to do it. This isn't your territory. I think you should know very well, right? Pigeon, take the things up with Chong first. I should keep my promise. Since I'm back, I have to talk to the big boss." Su Yun was not impatient. Instead, he gladly accepted the big boss's invitation. "Miss Li, please." Li Chun was also surprised by Su Yun's cooperation. She was stunned for a moment and immediately said to Su Yun, "Please." Ruan Qingxuang and Guagua prepared a sumptuous welcome banquet for Su Yun, but Su Yun had no time to enjoy it, because Su Yun had a new idea. Since it was very likely that Nether King Lang Chen was already preparing to deal with him, then he urgently needed an ally to help him through this crisis. However, Big Boss Bao Tianxia seemed to be the best ally that Su Yun could choose right now. No matter what the result was, Su Yun would have one less opponent. As long as the big boss was still interested in Kuei Bao in Xing and Mountain, Su Yun was confident that he would help him. Even if Bao Tianxia knew in his heart that Su Yun wanted to eat each other, he would still do the same. After all, Su Yun had used this method to deal with Huang Xiong and Ji Feng. However, Cold Dust's opponent was several hundred levels higher than Huang Xiong and Ji Feng. When Bao Tianxia saw Su Yun coming back with Li Chun, he was very happy. He welcomed Su Yun to his reception room with a smile on his face. Speaking of which, Bao Tianxia was indeed a rich man. Shanjiang was one of the most expensive cities in Huaxia, and Bao Tianxia owned the largest villa in the most expensive villa district in the city. It could be said to be the most luxurious villa among luxurious villas. It had an indoor area of more than 1,000 square meters, an underground garage that could store more than 10 cars, a pleasing backyard, and a domineering and clear outdoor swimming pool. "Big boss, I can't imagine how much money you have," Su Yun smiled. "I'm afraid you can't buy anything in this place without 300 or 500 million, right?" Bao Tianxia laughed heartily. "Ha ha ha, brother Su, you have good eyesight. However, you're talking about the value 3 years ago. Now, land is getting more and more valuable." Su Yun raised his eyebrows. If that was the case, this place was really not something that could be bought with 300 or 500 million. "Brother Su, since you're so cooperative, let's get straight to the point, okay?" Bao Tianxia said, "I believe that with your strength, it shouldn't be difficult to go to Taiwan and deal with Ji Feng. Seeing that you came back with a smile on your face, things must have gone well. Now, it should be time to solve our problem." Su Yun pointed at himself. "Big boss, are your eyesight starting to deteriorate at this age? How can this be considered a smile on my face? However, with my understanding of Brother Su, if you didn't solve the problem, you wouldn't have come back." Bao Tianxia said, "Who doesn't have some troubles? But I can't always accommodate Brother Su, right? You should also accommodate me. I don't have the patience to wait for everything to go smoothly for you before raising my conditions." "Ha ha, what do you think?" Su Yun said indifferently, "Of course, I don't dare to ask Big Boss to take care of me like this. However, I came here today to tell Big Boss that I'm afraid I can't help you with your problem." Bao Tianxia's eyes flashed with a cold light, but he quickly smiled and said, "Brother Su, has anyone ever told you that your level of joking is really not that high? Ha ha ha, I've helped you so much. If you don't help me, do you think you can live with your face?" Su Yun nodded, For someone who is about to play, face is really worthless. Big boss, it's not that I don't want to help you, but I'm afraid that someone won't give me the chance to help you. Bao Tianxia didn't speak. He calmly looked at Su Yun, slowly picked up the teacup on the table and drank a mouthful of hot tea. Li Chun, who was standing behind Bao Tianxia, said, Mr. Su, if you encounter any trouble and need our big boss's help, you can just ask. As long as you agree to help us solve the problem in Xing and Mountain, Big Boss will agree to any of your conditions. Bao Tianxia put down the teacup. Brother Su, we're already so familiar with each other. You can say whatever you want. If Big Boss can help me, I would have already asked, Su Yun smiled. I'm a thick-skinned person. I won't let go of any chance to help me. However, the problem this time is a bit big. I really don't have confidence in Big Boss. Haha. Bao Tianxia smiled and said confidently, Brother Su, at least tell me about it. Nether King, Su Yun said, Lang Chen. Bao Tianxia suddenly frowned. He stared at Su Yun in disbelief. He couldn't imagine what Su Yun had done to provoke Nether King Lang Chen. This wasn't some small fry from the underground world who thought they were big shots. This was a true expert. Su Yun tasted the tea lightly and said, Big Boss, this is why I'm here today. I'm afraid I won't live long enough to accompany you to Xing and Mountain. Lang Chen is one of the three kings. Bao Tianxia, who had a conflicted expression, was suddenly stunned. He's one of the three kings. Are you kidding me? I'm afraid he's not qualified to replace one of the three kings. Su Yun was stunned. This was the first time that he had heard Bao Tianxia's words. In the past few years after Mao Bo's death, Lang Chen was the most popular candidate to replace him. Many people had tacitly agreed that Lang Chen was one of the three kings, including Su Yun. This was probably why Nether King Lang Chen believed in Green Ghost and the legend of the Zixuhoya tribe. He wanted his own strength to soar. Only then would he be able to shut the mouths of those who didn't accept him as one of the three kings. This was also why he was a threat to Guagua. Big Boss, what do you mean? Su Yun said, right now, it seems that everyone in the underground world will admit that Lang Chen is one of the three kings. This is just a rumor spread by Lang Chen himself. Even if everyone in the underground world admits it, he won't be able to become one of the three kings if he doesn't get the recognition of the other six kings. Bao Tianxia was a little agitated. Su Yun was also curious. Bao Tianxia was probably more mysterious than he had imagined. How did he know something that even he didn't know? In the underground world, the three kings were unreachable existences. Below them were the high and mighty seven kings. Bao Tianxia seemed to know more about this than Su Yun. Everyone knows that Lang Chen is Nether King Lang Chen. He's only one of the seven kings. He'll never be one of the three kings. Bao Tianxia said angrily. Su Yun probed, Big Boss, I'm really ignorant. Who are the seven kings you're talking about? Mr. Su, don't tell me you don't know. Li Chun said indifferently, with your strength, you're definitely not an ordinary person in the underground world. There's no way you haven't heard of the seven kings, right? I've heard of the seven kings, but I don't know who they are. After I came into contact with the underground world, I heard that Lang Chen is one of the three kings. However, Big Boss said that he's only one of the seven kings. This makes me a little confused. Su Yun said, 7 kings. Hee. Nether King Lang Chen sounds like he's only one of the 7 kings. Bao Tianxia didn't seem to want to talk. He signaled for Li Chun to explain to Su Yun. Of course, because Lang Chen is one of the 7 kings, Nether King Lang Chen. Li Chun said, but he's been coveting the position of one of the 3 kings for a long time. That's why he released so much information. Many people think that he's one of the 3 kings. This is just a high hat that he's trying to put on himself. Bao Tianxia snorted heavily. Before he reached the profound sky realm, he dared to say that he's one of the 3 kings. Lang Chen is really shameless. In terms of strength, he's definitely not the strongest among the 7 kings. What qualifications does he have to make himself one of the 3 kings? The Power King, the Sword King, and the Evil King are all stronger than Lang Chen. Li Chun said, I don't know if Mr. Su knows about the others, but you definitely know about the Evil King. That's because the Evil King is your little brother Lin Ji's master, Lu Xuanji. Because he doesn't want others to know about his identity as one of the 7 kings, he slowly became known as the Evil God. Su Yun had stayed in the Dragon Brigade for too long. Only today did he realize that his understanding of the underground world was only on the surface. There were so many things that he didn't know about. Heavens, that's his old man Zhang's sworn brother. That means that his old man Zhang isn't someone to be trifled with. Could that Zhang Tai Sui be one of the 7 kings? Su Yun asked. Maybe Bao Tianxia and Li Chun could give him an explanation. Obviously, Li Chun was really stumped by this question. She unconsciously looked at Bao Tianxia. Old man Zhang isn't one of the 7 kings. However, his title of Tai Sui was given to him by the 7 kings because they don't dare to offend him. Bao Tianxia spoke again. At least, the strongest of the 7 kings, the Power King, doesn't dare to point fingers at him. Oh, looks like the old man is doing pretty well. Even the 7 kings don't dare to point fingers at him. That's too awesome. So, he was one of the 3 kings? Su Yun's curiosity was piqued. Bao Tianxia shook his head. No, but Zhang Tai Sui did challenge the weakest of the 3 kings, Mao Bo. In the end, he lost. Hee, there's always someone better than you. Su Yun sighed. Bao Tianxia paused for a moment before continuing, but not long after, Mao Bo died. Although no one knows the cause of his death, who dares to deny that it was Zhang Tai Sui who caused him to suffer internal injuries? It's just that Zhang Tai Sui left earlier than Mao Bo, so he didn't get the title of one of the 3 kings, even if it was only for a day. Chapter 690. Su Yun had always wanted to know about this, but he had never heard anyone talk about it. He was indeed full of curiosity. He didn't expect Tai Sui to have such a glorious history. Even the death of Mao Bo, one of the 3 kings, might have been caused by him. To be honest, Su Yun didn't dare to believe Bao Tianxia's words. Su Yun, since I've said so much and mentioned Zhang Tai Sui, I might as well tell you that I haven't admired anyone among the 7 kings, but Zhang Tai Sui is someone I admire. Bao Tianxia said, this is why I've always given you face. In fact, I'm not giving you face, but giving Tai Sui face. Although I don't have much contact with him, I admire his strength and character. You can doubt me, but you have to admit that I really admire Zhang Tai Sui because he's the only dead person I've given face to. This is the greatest sincerity I can show. If he were still alive, he might not mind being my close friend. Su Yun smiled gently. It's a pity that the dead can't come back to life, so you can't expect the old man to come back to life and be your friend. However, Big Boss, you have to know that even if the old man is still alive and is your close friend, he will never help you force me to do anything I don't want to do. I don't have such wishful thinking. Don't misunderstand me. Bao Tianxia said, I don't admire Zhang Tai Sui because he can help me. It's because of his strength and character. Don't think of me as such a bad person. In fact, sometimes I'm quite good, aren't I? Su Yun nodded. Indeed. At least when you said you admire the old man, I thought you were a good person. However, I have a little doubt now. Although Big Boss admires the old man, you look down on the 7 kings. Naturally, that means you're not an ordinary person, right? At least you have the strength to look down on the other kings, or at least be on an equal footing. There was a silence in the room. Su Yun's suspicion wasn't without reason. If Bao Tianxia didn't have the strength, why would he say that? Unless the 7 kings looked down on each other. If he didn't have the status, he wouldn't be qualified to say that. That's right. Big Boss is the Gold King of the 7 kings. Li Chun opened his mouth only after Bao Tianxia had given him permission to do so. He is indeed qualified to sit on the same level as the other kings. Su Yun sucked in a breath of cold air. Although this was unexpected, it was indeed reasonable. However, Bao Tianxia's identity still shocked Su Yun deeply. Bao Tianxia was actually one of the 7 most famous people in the underground world other than the 3 kings. Perhaps there were some loose practitioners whose strength was not weaker than the 7 kings, but their titles were definitely not based on their level of strength. Instead, it reflected a person's overall strength. It seemed that everyone in the underground world knew that Jin Wang was an ordinary person without any strength. However, he could make a group of experts work for him. This was also a reflection of his overall strength. No one could deny that he was the richest man in the entire underground world. If he wasn't a rich guy, how could he sit on the throne of the Jin King? The Jin Wang was the symbol of wealth. I really didn't expect this. Su Yun smiled. Big boss, I admit that your true identity really scared me. However, I'm afraid that this still isn't enough for me to help you. Everyone knows that Lang Chen is currently the most famous of the 7 kings. Perhaps he won't give me the time to help you. The chances of him giving you face and time isn't high. Bao Tianxia's expression darkened. I, Bao Tianxia, am someone who is on the same level as him. It's fine if he doesn't give me face, but I'm afraid that I won't give him face either. Respect was mutual. This sentence was not wrong at all. Although Bao Tianxia's identity shocked Su Yun had to admit that this shock also made him overjoyed. If he only relied on his own strength to fight against Lang Chen, his chances of victory were too low. However, if he received Bao Tianxia's help, the result might be completely different. Big boss, there's something that I don't know if I should say. Li Chun suddenly said. Going against Pluto really isn't a wise choice. Bao Tianxia naturally knew this, but he didn't have a choice right now. It wasn't that he wanted to go against Lang Chen, but because Lang Chen was dragging him down. He wouldn't allow anything that hindered him from achieving his goal. No matter who the other party was, no matter how strong the other party was, he had to solve the problem. This wasn't because Bao Tianxia had good intentions towards Su Yun, nor was it because he admired Zhang Muji that he would stand on Su Yun's side. Perhaps it was because he had long wanted a chance to get rid of Lang Chen. It wasn't because of anything else, but because Bao Tianxia also hoped that he would be the one to take over the vacant position of the 3 kings. Among the 7 kings, those who coveted that position were all Bao Tianxia's opponents. Su Yun realized that he had inadvertently seen the most interesting thing. Bao Tianxia's pursuit of a title was also burning hot. Thus, Su Yun suddenly thought of another question. As the Gold King, Bao Tianxia was already the richest person in the entire underground world. Why would he be so interested in the things buried in the Xing and mountain range? Perhaps the things buried in that land weren't things that could be exchanged for more money, but things that could help him improve in other aspects. If Su Yun's guess was correct, what Bao Tianxia wanted the most at this moment was strength, enough strength to qualify him to become one of the 3 kings. Bao Tianxia's strength was at best a 2nd or 3rd-rate expert. To Su Yun, Bao Tianxia was already 50 years old. He probably wouldn't be able to catch up to Bao Tianxia even if he spent his entire life trying to catch up to Bao Tianxia. Unless there was another possibility. Bao Tianxia had been hiding his true strength from the world. Su Yun realized that the more he thought about it, the more frightening Bao Tianxia became. This person was unfathomable. It even made Su Yun wonder if it was a wise choice to cooperate with Bao Tianxia. Since I treat Brother Su as a friend, I naturally have to help when a friend is in trouble. Bao Tianxia smiled. Brother Su, your words today have finally made me understand why Lang Chen came to Shenzhen this time. To think that I even asked him to catch up with me tomorrow night. It seems like he wants to meet me after he's done with your matter. Su Yun was shocked. You already know that Lang Chen is in Shenzhen? Don't be so agitated. Bao Tianxia said. According to my understanding, he's not here for you. After you told me today, I found out that he's here for the person you want to protect. Su Yun didn't have the time to waste here. Lang Chen's men could go to Xingkai and cause trouble for Guagua at any time. Goodbye, big boss. Su Yun got up and left in a hurry. He had to get back to the hotel as soon as possible. After Su Yun left, Li Chun said, Big boss, you're not really going to provoke the Netherworld King for Su Yun, right? He's famous for being ruthless. If we offend him, it might bring us a lot of unnecessary trouble. Of course I know that Lang Chan is ruthless, but whether I'm ruthless or not, I know better in my heart, Bao Tianxia said. Help me make an appointment with Lang Chan now. It seems like I can only treat him to a drink and catch up with him in advance. Whether Su Yun can escape today's disaster or not, I can only help him this much. Without Lang Chen, he should be able to deal with the others. After all, he has the evil god's disciple by his side. Li Chun nodded. He took a deep breath and said, I hope Big Boss can win this big gamble. I never make meaningless bets. Bao Tianxia's eyes flashed with a green light. I dare to make a bet because I'm sure I'll win. Even if Lang Chen interferes, I won't let him ruin my plan. No one can. After Su Yun arrived at the hotel, everything was calm. However, he didn't have much time to breathe. Bao Tianxia's words made it impossible for Su Yun to predict when Lang Chen would appear with his men. Even if running away wasn't a solution, he had to take them away. Sitting here and waiting for death was absolutely not an option. However, when he returned to the hotel, he found that Ruan Qingshuang, Guagua, and everyone else were not there. Only Dan Jiahao was waiting for him with a silly smile on his face. Brother Yun, you're finally back. Let's go. When Dan Jiahao saw Su Yun, he immediately went up and said, Let's go home. We'll have a party at home today. They've all gone back to prepare. They told me to wait for you here alone. At this time, Su Yun wasn't in the mood for entertainment. He pulled Dan Jiahao up and walked away. Don't dawdle. Let's go home. Call your brother and tell him to pack up immediately. We're going back to Hadong now. Back to Hadong. Dan Jiahao didn't understand what was going on. He was brought to the car by Su Yun and directly rushed to Yi Fala's villa. Dan Jiahao had only enjoyed life in the big city for a few days. He really didn't want to go back. However, when he saw Su Yun's serious expression, he didn't dare to ask. Obviously, something big had happened. When he made the call, the excited people at home were instantly dumbfounded. This announcement was too sudden. The beautiful night hadn't even started, and it was going to end. It was too disappointing. When Su Yun drove back, everyone was waiting at the villa's entrance. Lin Ge, Ruan Qingshuang, Guagua, Chou Yun, Qin Waner, Bu Fifan, Chong, and the three tigers of Nanqing were all there. There was also a talent that Shanzi had carefully selected from the chefs. He was the chef Bai Liang who had made the cold dinner for their party. Because of his heavy accent, everyone liked to call him Little Dong Bei. What happened? Ruan Qingshuang saw Su Yun's nervous expression and couldn't help but ask with concern. Let's not talk so much. Let's leave Shenzhong now. Before Su Yun could finish his sentence, he heard the sound of an engine from afar. It's over. It seemed that they couldn't leave now. Everyone, go back to the house. Lin Gu, Chou Yun, you two stay here. Lin Gu also realized that the situation was urgent. He reached into his pocket and took out a few coins. Chou Yun's eyes also became cold. She was ready to face any danger. Su Yun, what happened? Qin Waner was stunned. However, she was a police officer after all. She learned to be calm in the face of danger. It was her basic quality. Now is not the time for me to explain to you. Protect Sister Shuang and Guagua. Leave the rest to me. Su Yun's tone didn't allow anyone to question him. This time, Qin Waner didn't argue with Su Yun because of her position as a police officer. Su Yun had slowly made her understand that the police's rules didn't work in the underground world. People in the underground world had their own rules. Chapter 691. Lang Chen's men were here. They came faster than Su Yun had expected. Of course, Su Yun was not without something to be thankful for. Using Ah Q's spirit to comfort himself, Su Yun did not see Lang Chen among the people who alighted from the cars. Of course, Lang Chen would not be so stupid as to arrange for a few nameless juniors to do such an important task. Ghost Doctor Peng Juanda, Poisonous Ant Huang Yu, Mole Yang Yi. These people were all famous in the underground world. Just these three fellows were enough to make Su Yun and the rest uncomfortable. Moreover, there were other people besides the three of them. Although the other people's strength was negligible in Su Yun and the rest's eyes, for those who had just returned to their rooms, they were not to be trifled with. Su Yun, we meet again. Yang Yi seemed to be the person in charge of this mission. He said calmly, "To be honest, it wasn't easy to find out your identity. If we didn't verify it in many ways, who would dare to believe that Instructor Yen Long of the Dragon Fury team, who once had a glorious record in the army, would fall to the underground world? There was no such thing as an absolute secret in this world." After Su Yun left the Dragon Brigade, he did not intend to let anyone know his identity. But now, it was exposed. There were probably too many people who were interested in him. Anyway, it was only a matter of time. Su Yun did not mind. Life is like an electrocardiogram. There are ups and downs. If everything is smooth like a line, it means that you're dead. Su Yun smiled indifferently. Huang Yu looked at the two people standing beside Su Yun and said calmly, "No matter what, Yen Long is the leader of the Dragon Fury team. Now that he's in danger, he only has the Fox Venerable and the Demon God's disciple by his side. Isn't that a little too shabby? I thought there would be a large group of Dragon Fury team scouts waiting for us." Peng Juanda's eyes were full of disdain. No wonder the Netherworld King left this matter to us and went to meet his old friend. He already knew that this matter could be settled easily. Lin Gu spat. "Don't look down on me. I'm still wet behind the ears? Then let me see what abilities an ant like you, Huang Yu, has. Even if there isn't a team of Dragon's Fury Special Forces, I can still make you beg for death." Cho Yun's eyes flashed coldly. Unknowingly, the flexible sword in her hand had already pierced out, directly attacking Peng Juanda's face. Lin Gu did not stay idle either. A few coins shot out from his hand and flew towards Huang Yu from 9 different directions. Huang Yu was strong and knew how to use poison. Su Yun was naturally worried that Lin Gu would be in danger. Compared to Lin Gu, Cho Yun's situation was more troublesome. Indeed, the opponent she chose, Peng Juanda, was not as strong as Yang Yi and Huang Yu. However, Peng Juanda had more tricks up his sleeve than anyone else. "Captain Yen Long, I'm afraid you don't have the energy to worry about others." Yang Yi said coldly, "What can be more important than your own life?" After saying that, Yang Yi said to his subordinates, "Go to the room and bring out the girl that the Netherworld King wants. As for the others, kill them all." The few people who received the order immediately rushed into the villa. Su Yun's anger increased greatly and his killing intent completely exploded in an instant. He would never allow anyone to threaten the people he wanted to protect. Only to hear the cold wind whistling, Su Yun's move was accompanied by a biting cold wind, directly twisting the neck of one person. Of course, he would not let the other people go, but Yang Yi would not give Su Yun a chance to attack again. When Su Yun attacked the second person, Yang Yi was already in front of him. "Yen Long, I'll say it again, your opponent is me, you really don't have the energy to do anything else." As soon as he finished speaking, Yang Yi turned his wrist and the sharp brass knuckles on his hand emitted a cold light. Suddenly, Yang Yi exerted force in his lower body and directly grabbed Su Yun's heart with the fierce tiger claws. Yang Yi's explosive power and speed were definitely among the best among the supermasters. Such a sudden attack caught Su Yun a little off guard. He kept retreating until Yang Yi's iron claws were not so sharp. Only then did he block it with his fist. At this time, Su Yun had been forced out of the range of protecting the villa from being invaded by Yang Yi. Su Yun knew very well that this was Yang Yi's purpose. "If anyone inside is hurt, I will let you die a horrible death." The anger in Su Yun's heart was burning uncontrollably. He would never allow such a thing to happen. He would never allow anyone to hurt them. Yang Yi was very satisfied with Su Yun's anger. When the strength of both sides was equal, it was always advantageous to provoke the other party. "Whether the people inside are unharmed or all dead, you will not let me go. So why don't I choose the latter?" Su Yun didn't have time to talk nonsense. He had to get rid of Yang Yi first so that he could protect the people in the villa. The biting cold wind cut through the sky illuminated by the setting sun. Su Yun's iron fist was like a meteor across the sky. It directly hit Yang Yi's face with the momentum of a dragon's scissors. Yang Yi's left palm parried and his right fist suddenly used the broken tiger teeth, trying to use the brass knuckles to penetrate Su Yun's forearm. However, Su Yun's fist technique suddenly changed. His arm seemed to be able to bend where it couldn't bend. While dodging Yang Yi's brass knuckles, he suddenly threw a tricky punch at a position that Yang Yi couldn't predict at all. This punch was really inconceivable to Yang Yi. After his shoulder was hit, he had no choice but to retreat. In Yang Yi's view, Su Yun's arm just now was as agile as a snake. It was obviously a move from the long-lost ancient martial arts spirit Snake Fist. Although Yang Yi was shocked, he didn't panic. When Su Yun attacked again, Yang Yi suddenly changed the way he defended with his brass knuckles. Instead, he used the simplest capturing technique to quickly control Su Yun's arm. This was the only way to restrain the spirit Snake Fist. When Su Yun saw Yang Yi's speed, he knew that he couldn't gain an advantage with this fist technique. He gathered strength in his arm and angrily broke free from the control of his arm. Then, he used the Azure Dragon Fetch's water to force Yang Yi to take 2 steps back. Seeing that there was a chance to stop those people from entering the villa, Su Yun wanted to withdraw. However, Yang Yi didn't give Su Yun the chance. He directly went forward and used the evil tiger blocks the road to block Su Yun. At the same time, he gathered strength in his fists and used the roaring tiger manner to force Su Yun to continuously block and retreat. Yang Yi's strength was really too strong. It was impossible for Su Yun to solve the problem in a short period of time. At this time, the 3 subordinates arranged by Yang Yi had already broken through the door. Su Yun's heart instantly froze. It must be known that the strongest person in this room was Lu Feng of the southern city's 3 tigers. But when he faced those fellows who were at least second-rate experts, he was completely powerless to resist. If Yang Yi had given Su Yun 3 more seconds, giving Su Yun a chance to deal with those 4 people at once, the current dangerous situation wouldn't have happened. Damn it! All of Su Yun's anger turned into sharp punches. Twin flood dragons out of the cave. Stars falling sky. Goshawk hunting rabbit. Every move and every style was definitely aimed at Yang Yi's vital points. Yang Yi repeatedly retreated and blocked. At this time, he seemed to regret angering Su Yun. This was because Su Yun didn't do anything irrational because of anger. Instead, he poured all of his anger into his punches and vented it. Su Yun's mental strength was definitely the strongest among all the experts Yang Yi had ever seen. He could control his emotions and not be burned by anger. This was the mental strength control that only Earth Profound Realm experts could achieve. One had to know that Su Yun had once tyrannized himself because of anger. His murderous intent rose wildly. If it wasn't for Wang Yi's timely control, the consequences would have been unimaginable. After that, Wang Yi made Su Yun adhere to the breathing and expiration method every day. The purpose wasn't just to dispel his inner demons. There was a more important purpose, which was to let Su Yun learn to control his anger so that he wouldn't disturb his original calmness because of his anger. All of this came in handy today. Even when Yang Yi ordered a few subordinates to wantonly kill in the villa, Su Yun didn't lose control because of anger. He still clearly knew who his opponent was. Yang Yi kept retreating. He was slightly distracted, and Su Yun seized the opportunity to catch him off guard. However, he quickly recovered. The harder Su Yun was to deal with, the more competitive Yang Yi was. Now, he wanted to see what kind of ability the Dragon Fury team's Captain Yen Long had to be able to imprison so many fierce people in the Marty Franz Island's serious criminals prison. One of these fierce people was called Yang En, who was personally captured and sent to prison by Su Yun. That Yang En was Yang Yi's cousin who had the same grandfather as him. Today was Yang Yi's best chance to avenge his cousin. Although Pluto had ordered him to do his best to bring back Su Yun alive for him to see, Lang Chen wanted to do everything he could to bring Su Yun under his command. This way, He would be able to understand the secrets of the Dragon Brigade and realize his greater ambitions. However, Yang Yi did not think so. Today, even if he had to disobey Lang Chen's orders, he would definitely kill Su Yun. He had to kill him with his own hands to ease the hatred in his heart. At the same time, the battle between Lin Gu and Huang Yu had also entered a white-hot stage. It was not that Lin Gu had never fought against a super expert before, but those were all his own people. This was the first time he was facing a super expert who truly wanted to kill him. This kind of nervousness was unavoidable. Huang Yu had never thought that the demon god's disciple would be so strong. This was far beyond his expectations. The battle had only started for less than 5 minutes, and he had already used 100% of his energy to face Lin Gu. However, he still could not gain any advantage over him. What made Lin Gu even more depressed was that he could not gain any advantage over Huang Yu. However, Huang Yu knew how to use poison, and his technique was superb. This was what worried Lin Gu the most. This was because he did not know whether Huang Yu had not used any poison, or if he had already been poisoned and was unaware of it. Although Chou Yun managed to gain an advantage over Pang Juanda quickly used the medicine he carried with him to stop the blood from flowing out of his arm. As a man, he was actually being chased around by a woman. Of course, he was furious. However, no matter how angry he was, Chou Yun's sword speed made it impossible for him to play any tricks. Pang Juanda now hoped that someone could help him distract Chou Yun a little. Even if he had half a second, he would have the opportunity to take out some bewitching powder from his pocket and sprinkle it in the air. As long as Chou Yun breathed in a little bit, he could guarantee that she would obediently submit to him within 10 minutes. Even if he wanted her to strip naked, she would not hesitate. Chapter 692. Fox Noble, even if you can kill me now, you've still lost. Pang Juanda retreated as he sneered. Su Yun couldn't stop our people from entering the house. I'm afraid the house is in a mess right now? Ha ha ha. Your cute little sister's life is no longer up to you. Guagua's crisis was the only thing that could touch Chou Yun's heart. Although she knew it was Pang Juanda's trick, she still couldn't control herself from turning around to look. Pang Juanda finally seized the opportunity to pull out a paper bag the size of a fingernail from his shirt pocket. He quickly broke it with his fingernail and threw it at Chou Yun. The 3 people who had entered the house had stimulated Chou Yun's killing intent to another level. When she turned around to kill Pang Juanda as quickly as possible to protect Guagua, she smelled a pungent chemical smell. This smell was like a sharp knife, ruthlessly piercing Chou Yun's brain. The momentary trance didn't stop Chou Yun from stabbing with her flexible sword. Perhaps her anger had triggered Chou Yun's hidden explosive power. The sword accurately pierced into Pang Juanda's chest. Pang Juanda was shocked. He retreated as fast as he could, preventing Chou Yun's sword from piercing his heart. Such a dangerous situation made Pang Juanda break out in cold sweat. He felt lucky that he had retreated quickly. Otherwise, he would have to play chess with the Duke of Zhou in the underworld. The mental pain once again invaded Chou Yun's brain. She knew very well that she had fallen into Pang Juanda's trick. The only thing she could do now was to kill Pang Juanda while she could still control herself. The flexible sword in Chou Yun's hand was getting fiercer and fiercer as it pierced towards Pang Juanda. With a single move, she directly forced Pang Juanda into a corner with no way out. Of course, Pang Juanda wouldn't treat himself like a fish on a chopping block. He fought back with all his might. However, Chou Yun had no intention of returning to defend. Just as Pang Juanda was about to counterattack, Chou Yun resolutely used a move to perish together with Pang Juanda. Facing the cunning Pang Juanda, Chou Yun fell for his little trick again. Guagua's life was in danger. Every move she made was aimed at her opponent's vital points. Every move was ruthless, and every strike was vicious. She was fighting with her life on the line. If Pang Juanda did not cherish his own life so much, he would have seen through Chou Yun's weakness long ago. He would have only needed one move to make her unable to fight back. However, Pang Juanda would not take the risk. What he needed to do now was to wait for Chou Yun's medicine to take effect. When the time came, he would be defeated. However, the more it was like this, the more trouble Peng Juanda was in. His chest, shoulders, knees, and arms had already been injured from dodging and blocking Cho Yun's fatal sword moves. It could be said that he was the most injured among the three of them. When Yang Yi saw that Peng Juanda was in danger of losing his life at any time, he had no choice but to step forward to help him solve the problem. Of course, Yang Yi definitely didn't help because he cared about Peng Juanda's life, but because he cared about Peng Juanda's medical research. If Peng Juanda's research was successful, they would all be able to improve their strength. This improvement was definitely not the same as the effect of eating the forbidden medicine, Yin Yang pill. Of course, Hades Lang Chen also cared about Peng Juanda's medical research very much. Therefore, Yang Yi absolutely couldn't let Peng Juanda die under Cho Yun's sword. Yang Yi's help did indeed solve Peng Juanda's crisis, but it put his entire back into Su Yun's control. The biggest taboo when facing an enemy was to show one's back to the enemy. After Yang Yi did this, he immediately realized that he had made a big mistake that could not be made up for. Su Yun's move, pushing the clouds and pushing the moon, hit Yang Yi's back hard. Yang Yi spat out a mouthful of pus and blood on Peng Juanda's face. Su Yun's palm, which was infused with qi, naturally had the strength to destroy Yang Yi's internal organs. The internal injuries that Yang Yi suffered were definitely enough to make him lose all his fighting strength. Yang Yi, you're crazy. Seeing this, Huang Yu couldn't care less about dealing with Lin Gu. He quickly retreated to the side of the two and put up a defensive posture to protect them. Just as the momentum was turning to Su Yun's side, Cho Yun's vision turned black and she fell backward. Fortunately, Su Yun's eyes were sharp and his hands were fast. He caught Cho Yun in his arms. It could be said that this was an evenly matched battle. Both sides had people who lost their fighting strength. If Lang Chen was present today, perhaps Su Yun's team would have been wiped out long ago. Su Yun knew that he hadn't lost his bet. Although Bao Tianxia was an evil person, Su Yun still owed him a favor in this matter. Fortunately, Bao Tianxia was able to think of a way to send Lang Chen over to his side. Otherwise, there would be no hope at all. Just facing off against the three experts under Lang Chen was already like this. If Lang Chen, who had the strength of an Earth-profound realm expert, were to make a move, they would really lose in an instant. Let's make a deal. Although Peng Juanda's body had many sword wounds, they were all superficial. They were definitely not enough to cause any threat. Let's both take a step back. Let us take Yang Yi and leave. I'll give you the antidote to save Fox Venerable. She breathed in my soul-perishing powder. If she doesn't get the antidote within 24 hours, she will lose her humanity and shut off all her emotions. At that time, she won't remember anyone. She will only have one thought, and that is to kill. What a vicious poison. Su Yun wished that he could kill Peng Juanda right now. This soul-perishing powder was made by me. Only I have the antidote. If you don't believe me, then let's make a bet. Peng Juanda said, I guarantee that you will regret it. Why should I believe you? Lin Gu said, what if you give me a fake one? Peng Juanda took out a paper bag from his pocket. I can swear that if this antidote is fake, I will die a horrible death. Moreover, I can give you the antidote first, but you must let us go. Moreover, you don't have a choice because our people have already entered the room. If you don't hurry up, I'm afraid. All right. I agree to let you go. Su Yun didn't hesitate at all and took a step forward. However, Peng Juanda threw the antidote behind Su Yun and the others from afar. Su Yun didn't bother to argue with them. He turned around and picked it up. Peng Juanda and Huang Yu quickly got up and helped the seriously injured Yang Yi into the car and left. After finding the antidote, Su Yun directly threw it to Lin Gu. Give it to her quickly. He rushed back to the room as fast as he could. The other party's three subordinates had already entered for a few minutes. Su Yun only hoped that they could hold on for a while longer. He only hoped that no one would lose their life because of this matter. If someone died because of this matter, Su Yun would fall into an inextricable guilt once again. When Su Yun broke through the door, he was shocked by the pungent smell of blood. His eyes immediately saw the blood slowly flowing down the stairs. Buzz. Su Yun's mind instantly went blank. He didn't have time to think about anything else and rushed upstairs as fast as he could. Just as he reached the second floor, he felt a gust of cold wind coming at him. Su Yun didn't even think about it and blocked the attack. He used a grappling technique to capture the attacker. After taking a closer look, he couldn't help but exclaim, "Little Northeast?" The person who attacked Su Yun was indeed Lil Dongbei, Bai Liang. His arm was tightly held by Su Yun. He said in pain, "Chief Su. Ah. It hurts. It hurts." When Su Yun let go of Lil Dongbei, he saw the 3 dead intruders on the second floor. All of them had their carotid arteries pierced with a sharp knife. At this moment, Bai Liang was standing in front of Su Yun. He was holding a kitchen knife used for chopping meat in his left hand and a sharp boning knife in his right hand. Both knives were stained with blood. Ruan Qingxuang and the others were behind Bai Liang. Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Wan covered Guagua and Bu Fifen's eyes with their hands. They didn't want their children to see such a bloody scene. "Chief Su, what the hell is going on? I really didn't want to kill anyone, but these people wanted to kill me. I stabbed their hands and legs, but it didn't work. These bastards didn't care about their lives at all. They just wanted to kill us. I was just defending myself." Bai Liang woke up from the crisis just now and realized that he was in trouble. Su Yun hugged Bai Liang's shoulder. After all, he was only a 16 or 17-year-old kid. Even if the 3 tigers of Southern City were to bear the responsibility, they wouldn't be able to accept it. "Lil Dongbei, you're right. You were defending yourself. Don't be afraid. Everything will pass. I'll take responsibility for everything." Bai Liang nodded vigorously. Su Yun was really surprised. How did this kid do it? A cold meal chef apprentice was actually able to take care of 3 second-rate experts in one go. What the hell? Although today's situation was very critical, there were gains and losses. He actually found Lil Dongbei, such a treasure. Before Su Yun could ask Lil Dongbei what had happened, Qin Wan said regretfully, "Although it was self-defense, it was excessive self-defense that caused death. There's no time to find out who is responsible." Su Yun retorted, "Lil Dongbei's defense was not excessive at all. If he didn't attack here today, all of you have already, including you, Wan. They only want Guagua. They will kill all of you and take away Guagua. Do you know?" Qin Wan didn't refute. She nodded obediently. "I know. The underground world has its own rules. I won't participate in today's matter as a police officer. I know the seriousness of the matter." "Oh my God. Sister Qin, you're a police officer?" Bai Liang was dumbfounded. "I haven't married yet. I don't want to go to jail." "No one wants you to go to jail. Su Yun. I'll take responsibility for everything today. Although she's a police officer, she won't make things difficult for you. Boss Su, I'll follow you from now on. Unless I have a wife and a fat kid for the Bai family, I won't go to jail." Bai Liang was very concerned about Qin Wan's identity. Su Yun nodded. "You're my man from now on. No one can take you to jail. I owe you a favor. You've helped me protect so many people. If you have any problems in the future, just tell me. I'll help you. Just treat me as your brother. Don't call me Boss Su. Call me brother." Bai Liang was relieved. "Brother, I have something to do now. Find me a wife as soon as possible. It's too dangerous to follow you. I have to let the Bai family have a descendant. Wait until your hair is all tied up." Su Yun said helplessly. This kid was really a genius. After Lin Gu gave Cho Yun the antidote for the soul-dissipating powder, he was also helped to the room. Everyone didn't hesitate and prepared to move. Only Lin Gu was left to clean up the scene. They couldn't live in this house anymore. No matter what, 3 people had died. Bu Fifen also decided to find an agent to sell and buy another house. But the problem was, Where should they go? They couldn't go to the hotel. If Lung Chen went there, innocent people would be implicated. The villa was exposed again. They had nowhere to go. Why don't we go to my place? Dan Jiahao suddenly said. I'm thinking about settling down in Shenzhen with Wan Yi in the future. I paid a loan to buy a house. Although it's only 100 square meters and is a bit remote, it's still a place to stay. Chapter 693. Although the property that Dan Jiahao bought in Shenzhen was not big, and its location had nothing to do with the city, the down payment still made his heart ache. However, his action did surprise his brother, Dan Hongning, a little. He was surprised that his brother, who used to be immature, had grown so much. At least his decision was a sign of maturity. This kid is not bad. There aren't many young people who can make progress like this. At least he has the courage to take responsibility. Lu Feng also appreciated Dan Jiahao's approach. He smiled and said to Lu Wenyi, "At least I dare say that 99% of the young people in Huaxia rely on their parents to get married and buy a house. Even if their parents are just ordinary people, they will still choose to rely on them instead of relying on themselves." Dan Jiahao's face turned red. "Don't praise me anymore. If you praise me again, I'll fly to the sky. I can be where I am today all because of Brother Yun. If he didn't support me at that time and give me a job as a security guard at the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel, and also give me the opportunity to manage the hotel, I wouldn't have been able to earn so much money to pay the down payment. Besides, I dared to buy a house because I know that if I follow Brother Yun, I won't be so poor that I can't even pay the loan. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so bold. Is there anything worse than following me now? Today, I almost made you all lose your lives." Su Yun said helplessly, "You're just confident in yourself. As long as you know how to shoulder your responsibilities, you'll be able to stand out no matter where you are. Even without me, I believe you'll still be able to live well. Without you, I would still be a gangster in a small county in Hadong." Dan Jiahao shook his head vigorously. "No, I should say that I'm just a small gangster. There's a world of difference between me and my brother, these big gangsters. Not to mention a house, even buying a car would take a lot of effort." While everyone was chatting in the living room, they were slowly recovering from the frightening battle that had just taken place. No one wanted to think about what had just happened. In the bedroom, Chou Yun and Qin Wan are also slowly comforted the frightened Guagua and RuanQingshuang. Compared to the past, Ruan Qingshuang's tolerance had improved a lot. In the past, she would be so scared that she couldn't sleep at night because of the fight between Su Yun and a few gangsters in front of the Medicinal Cuisine restaurant. But now, she could learn to be calm after experiencing such a big storm. Who were those people? Seeing that Guagua had fallen asleep, Bu Fifan raised his doubts. "Aunt Shuang, what kind of trouble did you get yourself into?" Ruan Qingshuang gently patted Bu Fifan's shoulder. "Children shouldn't worry about these things. Don't worry, everything will pass. Just don't go to school when school starts this time. I'll help you call the head teacher to ask for leave." Bu Fifan didn't care if Gu Shijiu could go to school or not. He didn't like school to begin with. What he wanted to know was who wanted to hurt Guagua. He definitely wouldn't allow it. However, Bu Fifan knew very well that he alone was not enough to protect others. He was the one being protected. In the face of such danger today, he had no power to fight back at all. If Lil Dongbei had not stepped forward bravely, he would have been dead. "Wan, I know you're the most conflicted person right now," Chou Yun said faintly. "There are some things I don't know how to explain to you. But the police really don't have the ability to deal with people who want to harm us." Qin Wan nodded. Compared to before, she had learned what to do and what not to do. "I understand. You really don't have to worry about me. Just take care of Sister Shuang. Little Dongbei, let's talk." Su Yun was in the kitchen. Seeing that little Dongbei was making supper for everyone with limited ingredients, he walked behind him. Bai Liang turned around and saw Su Yun. He immediately nodded and said, "Boss Su." "No, Brother Yun, if you have any orders, just tell me." "You're so agile. Does your family know about it?" Su Yun asked. Bai Liang shook his head at Su Yun as he served the supper. "My family doesn't know. I don't have the chance to show off in front of them." "What does your family do?" Su Yun was curious. "My father is a pig butcher. Regardless of whether it's in the mountains or in the town, if anyone wants to kill a pig, they'll invite him. Although the money isn't much, my family lives well. We have pig head meat for every meal." Bai Liang seemed quite satisfied. "My father doesn't have high expectations. As long as he can have pig head meat for every meal and drink some wine, that's enough." "How did you come to Shenzhen?" Su Yun continued to ask. Of course, a pig butcher couldn't have taught his son to be so skilled. There must be someone else behind Bai Liang. This kid from the mountains must have his own story. Bai Liang sighed. "Brother Yun, that's a long story. I dropped out of school when I was 14. It wasn't because my family didn't have the money to go to school, but because I didn't want to. To punish me, my father made me chop firewood in the mountains and sell it in town. This work isn't for humans. Firewood isn't worth much. Even if I work myself to death, I can only earn a few yuan a day. I want to learn how to kill pigs, but my father won't teach me." Su Yun couldn't help but laugh. "You still want to pass on your father's skills and cultivate your Bai family into a family of pig butchers." "It's not that I didn't have that thought." Bai Liang chuckled. "Later on, I really came across an opportunity." Su Yun knew that the main point was coming. He nodded and signaled for Bai Liang to continue. "I met an old man in the mountains. The old man said that as long as I brought him 2 tails of pig head meat and a bottle of wine every day, he would teach me a set of pig butcher knife skills." I said, "Do you need to learn knife skills to kill pigs?" "When my father killed pigs, he knocked them out with a club and stabbed them in the neck to let them bleed. But the old man told me that the knife skills he taught me could not only kill domestic pigs, but wild boars as well." Bai Liang laughed foolishly. "If it were now, I wouldn't believe him. But at that time, I was still young and immediately kowtowed to him. For the next 2 years, I stole pig head meat and wine from home every day, just to learn how to kill wild boars." Su Yun knew that little Dong Bei was lucky to have met an expert. To be able to train a child to such a level in just 2 years, he definitely wasn't an ordinary person. Although little Dong Bei didn't train his state of mind, he was able to kill those 3 experts with just his quick movements. This showed that the old man he spoke of was definitely a very powerful person. "Then what was his name?" Su Yun asked. Bai Liang shook his head. "I asked, but he didn't say. He told me to just call him Old Man. I called him Old Man, and he called me Little Dong Bei. I stole pig head meat and wine for him for 2 years, and he taught me knife skills for 2 years. And then? Why didn't he continue to teach you?" Su Yun continued asking. "My dad found out that I stole wine and meat," Bai Liang said helplessly. Bai Liang helplessly said, "Then I could only confess everything that I needed to confess. My father felt that I had met a swindler who was trying to cheat me of the pig head meat, so he didn't let me go out to the mountains. In the past 2 years, I had indeed stolen too much pig head meat and sorghum wine from home. My father calculated for me and was shocked. In the past 2 years, I had stolen nearly 150 caddies of pig head meat and 280 caddies of sorghum wine." Without Su Yun asking again, little Dong Bei took a deep breath and continued, "My dad beat me up and then locked me up for a week without letting me go out. Later, I seized the opportunity when he went to the county to kill pigs and ran out. I was going to the mountains to find the old man and ask him what happened. In the end, I couldn't find him. On the way home, I was really unlucky. I actually met a wild boar. Usually, when the old man was around, I couldn't find a wild boar to practice with. Now that the old man was gone, the wild boar appeared. I was really scared at that time." "In the end, you still killed the wild boar?" Su Yun was really surprised. A teenager killing a wild boar. If it wasn't for the guidance of an expert for 2 years, the wild boar would have pierced hundreds of big holes in his body. Bai Liang didn't deny it. Yes, I had no choice. I could only fight. It was my first time killing a wild boar. After I dragged the beast home, I weighed it and found that it was 600 kilograms. When my dad came back, he didn't believe that I killed the wild boar. He thought that even if it was a dead wild boar, it would be impossible for me to drag it back. Su Yun smiled bitterly. If he was his father, he wouldn't believe it either. A 600-kilogram dead wild boar. How much strength did it take to drag it back home? After that, my dad thought that my brain was damaged. Coincidentally, my uncle was a construction worker in Shenzhen. My dad asked my uncle to bring me to the big city to learn how to cook. He felt that no matter how bad a chef was, he wouldn't starve. Bai Liang said it very casually. Then, my uncle asked his boss's boss for help. The boss was in a good mood that day and introduced me to Shinkai Hotel to be an apprentice. When this kid first arrived at Shinkai Hotel, he must have been very excited. Sigh, it's a pity that good people don't live long. My uncle was such a good person, but he fell to his death in a construction accident a few months ago. Bai Liang shook his head helplessly. His expression was a little sad. Su Yun didn't know how to comfort him. He could only pat him. That was just an accident. No matter what, good people always live longer than bad people. Brother Yun, I was really scared today. I was really afraid that I would kill people to save everyone, and then the organization would shoot me. Bai Liang exhaled. To be honest, I didn't feel anything when I killed the 3 people today because I felt that they didn't have any human aura. They were similar to animals like wild boars. Other than killing intent, there was only killing intent. I was forced to do it. The organization has already forgiven you. Su Yun smiled. I can see that you're not a bad person. I also believe that you definitely don't want to do something like killing people. The 3 people you killed today all had a blood debt on their hands. What you did was just to make them pay with their blood. Bai Liang smiled slightly. Brother Yun, I'm going to follow you in this life. I really like chatting with you. Why do I feel so relaxed when chatting with you? Brother, you're a good person. In the future, I'll do whatever you ask me to do. I'll listen to you. Little Dong Bei, how's the preparation of our supper? We've prepared the wine. We're just waiting to toast to you and thank you. Dan Jiahao hurried over from the living room. Bai Liang pointed at the simple supper prepared and said, You only have these things at home. I'm just an apprentice. Can I just make do with it? Okay. This is already very sumptuous. It doesn't matter what we eat. What's important is that we have to thank you for your righteous actions today. Dan Jiahao smiled as he helped Bai Liang pick up the not-so-sumptuous supper. All of us owe you our lives. From now on, you're our brother. Even though you're still young, we still have to give you a proper toast. Brother Yun, go sit. We can't let you carry the dishes. Wenny, come over and take the dishes from Brother Yun's hands. Why are you so blind? Chapter 694. About an hour later, Lin Gu rushed back according to the address Dan Jiahao gave him. He hurriedly ate a few mouthfuls of supper, then sat on the sofa and didn't want to get up. Brother, I'm afraid today's matter isn't over. Lung Chen must know now that his people have failed, and you even heavily injured his most trusted person, Yang Yi. I really don't know what that guy will do after he goes crazy. Although I injured Yang Yi, with ghost Dr. Peng Juanda by his side, he won't die. Su Yun said, even though Lang Chen will go crazy, his current target might not be us anymore. Someone will choose to treat him to a meal at this critical moment, and while he's eating, his people won't be able to accomplish anything. If I were Lang Chen, I would also wonder why tomorrow's meal was brought forward to today. Lin Gu was a little confused. He didn't know what Su Yun and Bao Tianxia talked about today. Bao Tianxia was one of the 7 kings, the Jin King. This was something Lin Gu didn't dare to imagine. He might not even know that the old man who taught him all his skills was one of the 7 kings. Su Yun smiled faintly. I don't know what will happen tomorrow, but at least we can rest assured tonight. Sleep well. Someone is holding Lang Chen back today, and Lang Chen will definitely ask that person clearly. Besides, Dan Jiahao bought this house without even us knowing. Even if Lang Chen has the ability, it'll be hard for him to find out in a short time. Brother Yun, don't make me sound like a nouveau riche. I've borrowed a lot of money. Dan Jiahao explained again. After we're done with this, can't I continue to work at the hotel to earn money? Otherwise, I won't be able to pay back the loan next month. Don't make yourself sound so pitiful, Lin Gu said. If you really don't have money, I still have some. Is 3,000 enough? I'll lend it to you first. Dan Jiahao really wanted to kill himself. 3,000 thoughts? What could he do with that? At most, it would be enough for them to drink some beer at the bar and sing at the KTV. If they were to ask 2 princesses to come, they might not even be able to afford the bill. Su Yun shrugged his shoulders. Even if you really don't have the money to pay off the loan and the bank wants to take your house, your brother won't just stand by and watch you live on the streets. Besides, even if your biological brother doesn't care about you, don't you still have Brother Lu? He can't just watch his cousin suffer with you, right? Brother Yun, you've really misjudged me. If he can't pay the mortgage, I really won't care about him. He can only blame himself for being incapable. Dan Hongning said, the more capable you are, the more trouble you will face. If you don't have the ability to earn that kind of money, then don't expect to enjoy the things that only people of that level can afford. Lu Feng was also quite supportive of Dan Hongning. Brother Yun, do you really think that I will agree to my sister being with a trash that can't even pay the mortgage? F***ck. Dan Jiahao was speechless. Can you guys not give me so much pressure? If you continue to put pressure on me, then I won't be polite. If you want to stay here tonight, then pay up. 100,000 yuan per night. Otherwise, you can leave. Don't forget that this is my house. My name is written on the real estate certificate. Sister, if your name isn't written on the small book, you definitely can't be with him. Lu Feng turned around and said to Lu Wenyi. Lu Wenyi shrugged her shoulders. If he performs well, I can consider adding his name on the book. Everyone suddenly realized that Dan Jiahao's name wasn't written on the real estate certificate. Lu Feng laughed heartily. Dan Hongning had a bitter smile on his face. He really didn't know if his brother was really smart or just pretending to be stupid. However, if he could do this, it clearly showed that he really cared about old Lu's cousin. If so, as a brother, he sincerely wished them well. Tianxiang Fish Restaurant was the most famous and luxurious fish restaurant in Shenzhen. Of course, the chef here was definitely the best fish chef in all of Shenzhen. Give him 100 different types of fish, and he would definitely be able to make 100 different flavors. This was why even though the price of Tianxiang Fish Restaurant was so high, there were still people who liked to eat fish. The reason why Bao Tianxia arranged for him and Lang Chen to meet here was because he was very clear about Lang Chen's tastes and preferences. Lang Chen was obviously very satisfied with Bao Tianxia's hospitality. He was also quite satisfied with the chef here. After he finished dealing with important matters, he would definitely have a good chat with the chef and ask if he was willing to go to the Southeast Island with him. Of course, even if the chef wasn't willing to go, Lang Chen had a way to make him go with him. However, after receiving a phone call, Lang Chen's interest in the chef disappeared. This was because the most important thing he came to Shenzhen for was messed up. Brother Lung, looking at your expression, did something happen in your harem? Bao Tianxia smiled and carefully tasted the fragrance of the Longjing tea in his cup. Lang Chen tried to calm his breathing as he stared at Bao Tianxia with a gloomy and calm gaze. Brother Bao, I really hope that today's matter has nothing to do with you. But now I can't help but wonder why you had to bring forward our appointment for tomorrow's meal to today. What? Could it be that your elder brother has delayed you from something important? Bao Tianxia played dumb. Didn't I already explain that I have important matters to take care of in Yanjing tomorrow? If I don't take this opportunity to invite you to a meal in Shenzhen today, I'm afraid I'll have to wait until the next time. Brother Lung, you're thinking too much. The corner of Lang Chen's mouth twitched. Your brother Bao hasn't thought of me for so many years, but you're suddenly so enthusiastic today. You're saying I'm thinking too much? How can I not think too much? Brother, what do you mean by that? I really don't understand. Bao Tianxia smiled. Right now, you have the highest chance of becoming one of the 3 emperors in the underground world. I can't wait to curry favor with you, so why would I ruin your plans? Don't give me that. You know what I'm talking about. Lang Chen's voice was stiff. Bao Tianxia, don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. You've never been convinced by anyone among the 7 kings. You don't think that I'm qualified to be one of the 3 emperors. I'm afraid that you're the one who covets that position more, right? Bao Tianxia smiled. Since brother says so, I'm not afraid to admit it. It's a pity that I don't have the strength to do so. If I had the strength of Brother Lang, I would really feel that I'm worthy. Ha ha ha, Brother Lang. Could it be that you're already an expert in the Sky Profound Realm? Humph, Brother Bao, are you insinuating something? Lang Chen said. I admit that I haven't reached the Sky Profound Realm, but in the near future, I'll definitely reach the height that I want to reach. But today, you've ruined all my plans. Brother Bao, do you have anything else to explain? Bao Tianxia's face changed. Lang Chen, what do you mean by that? Do you have some other unorthodox method that can help you quickly increase your strength? Hearing Bao Tianxia's words, Lang Chen's expression became more and more serious. It seems that Brother Bao's information is quite fast. If I'm not wrong, Brother Bao wants to snatch people from me, right? Bao Tianxia's forehead was already sweating. He had never told anyone this secret. Could it be that Lang Chen also found out about it by himself? Under the ice forest of the Xing and mountain range, there wasn't just a treasure buried there. There was also a very important thing. That was Po Bo Yu. Because Bao Tianxia had been in contact with antiques for many years, it could be said that he had a very deep understanding of human history. Unintentionally, he learned a secret about the Zixihoya tribe. The Zixihoya tribe, together with Po Bo Yu, which had already disappeared from the world, could rapidly and greatly increase the strength of a practitioner's mental state. Bao Tianxia thought that he was the only one in the world who knew about this important historical secret. Therefore, when he finally got his hands on a Zixihoya 10 years ago, he spent the past 10 years searching for Po Bo Yu. Finally, after reading all the ancient jade books in the world and going through a lot of research, he dared to conclude that the land under the ice forest of the Xing and mountain range was the resting place of a very important Zixihoya tribe leader. That was also the only place where he could find Po Bo Yu. Since Bao Tianxia was given the title of Jin King and was the richest person in the entire underground world, he naturally wouldn't be so obsessed with money. He had always been unwilling to let go of that land. His main goal wasn't to chase after the priceless human treasures underground, but more importantly, to find Po Bo Yu. As long as he had Po Bo Yu and the Zixihoya clansmen that he had imprisoned for 10 years, he would be able to greatly increase his strength. As long as he could reach the profound sky realm before the other 7 kings, he would be able to ascend to the position of one of the 3 sovereigns. What Bao Tianxia wanted wasn't just money, he also wanted status and fame. If he wanted to gain a long-term foothold in the underground world where talents were abundant and become a person whose name would be passed down for generations, he had to become one of the 3 kings. Only then would he be remembered by the world for eternity. At this moment, Bao Tianxia was worried that Lang Chen knew his secret and wanted to obtain Su Yun. Lang Chen also wanted Su Yun to help him find the Po Bo Yu that was buried underground. At this moment, Lang Chen was also thinking about another matter. He suspected that Bao Tianxia already knew about the power of the little girl beside Su Yun and that Bao Tianxia wanted to compete with him for that little girl. Although the two of them didn't suspect each other for the same reason, their goal was the same. Both of them were after this shocking secret. The vague words made both of them believe that the other party knew about their secret, so the atmosphere became more and more tense. Bao Tianxia, since you don't want to say it, then I'll make it clear. Leng Chen sneered. With your skills that even second-rate experts can't compare to, even if you get what you want, you still won't be able to reach the height you want. Why don't you give this opportunity to me? When I become one of the 3 kings, I definitely won't forget how good you are. Bao Tianxia gulped. Since you've already made it clear, then I don't need to hide it anymore. Leng Chen, there's nothing that I can't get when I want it. You know that. Then what do you think you can do to me with your little bit of strength? I admit that you're an old fox, but as long as I don't fall into your trap, I'm afraid that you don't have the ability to deal with me, right? Leng Chen raised his head arrogantly and looked at Bao Tianxia with disdain. Bao Tianxia narrowed his eyes and laughed coldly. Leng Chen, since you said that I'm an old fox, then why don't you suspect that I've been hiding my true strength all these years? That you're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.